And Kyle, summer after summer, we never know who's going to really have their big moment. But whether it's Shane Billings from the Turks, or just some of these guys who will, they're having a good season or they wouldn't be here, but they also get that MVP award, and that sort of solidifies them in the scouts' mind.
Right. You're right on about that, Dave. You can have a great first half and then fall off in this league because it's such a competitive league, or you just keep your success going. We've seen some guys throughout the season so far, and a lot of these guys on these teams, they've had great seasons, and they want to keep that going, and especially tonight in front of all these scouts here in Harrisonburg. A lot is on this game. Even if it's just an all-star game, you definitely want to show off a little bit and show these scouts what you can do. So I'm looking forward to seeing what all these players can do. It should be a pretty good matchup. But these guys really want to perform because today is an important day here at the All-Star Game.
Well, the window closes pretty quickly. Players have got the opportunity to make an impression a handful of times, but you want to leave an impression with a scout saying, not only that, but your own coaches, where it's like, well, that's a guy we want back next year, or that's a guy that I want to put on my futures list if you're a scout. So that's the whole thing, and sometimes making an impression, whether it's in the 60 or home run dash or in the game or something like that. Scouts have got information overload with a lot of players, and they want to be able to see a little something special in you that makes you worth the attention in your final years of eligibility, because a lot of these players are works in progress.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right there, Dave. These guys do work really hard, and they have a lot riding on this season. I mean, the Valley League is a very high-level league in summer baseball, and a good bit of these guys go on to get drafted, and some of them even sneak into the big leagues occasionally. So it's fun to be able to watch these guys and see them grow throughout the season and just watch them perform on their teams.
Yeah, and you've got to be good. You've got to get lucky. And the way I always describe it is, by the time you're the major league starter, let's say at second base or shortstop or something like that, the number of players that you've had to beat out to be the top guy at the top level, it's not only the 7 teams and the 2 to 3 shortstops each of them carry. You've already beaten out all the guys at a university, and because it's a revolving door of talent, it's not the same group of characters. They're always trying to draft your replacement.
Right.
And in the regular business world, it's not like that, where your company continues to look for your replacement all the time.
Hope not, at least.
Unless you're terrible at what you do.
Yeah, the thing about baseball is, Dave, there's just so many players out there. I mean, single A, double A, triple A, just in the major leagues or in the big league professional level. I mean, think about what it takes to, like you said, get through college with all these great baseball players. Then you've got to maybe catch some breaks sometimes. I mean, it's not always going to be a smooth sailing to the higher levels. I mean, you got to work hard to get to the professional level.
Seems like a third of the pitchers have had some kind of major arm surgery as well.
Yeah, pitching is real tough nowadays. It seems like a lot of guys trying to throw hard, and sometimes bad things happen. So it's definitely tough for pitchers, and there's so many pitchers out there. But yeah, it's definitely a tough journey to get there. We know a good bit of players from the Valley League have been able to make it to the big leagues, and then hopefully some of these guys here tonight have a chance to get there one day. But got to keep on grinding. Minor league baseball is very tough from what I've seen. A lot long bus rides. It's not like in the big leagues where you get to fly around and do all that stuff. So it's definitely worth it when you get there, but it's a tough journey for sure.
Well, the Valley League grind is a real step up from what they're playing in college,
right,
because of the really compressed schedule, and the weather has made it an even more compressed schedule. We still have some teams in the league that are 4 or 5 games behind in the number of games played. So.
Yep.
And that is really going to tax the arms as the season goes along, because this isn't a pitch count league, and you've got to have that pitching depth. And how many teams have you heard of that thought they had enough, and you get to halfway through the season, and whether it's injuries or guys reaching innings limits or whatever it is, teams are always searching for pitching.
Yeah, pitching is definitely something teams are always looking for, and it just seems like every season guys start to get hurt or they hit their pitch number. And for teams out here in the Valley League, you want to get to the end of the season with a couple good arms, because it takes a lot to win a championship in this league. And some teams out there run out of pitching, and sometimes are able to sign other guys from other teams. But other times you just run out of arms, and you really have to grind to the end, even without good starting pitchers or relief pitchers. So it's definitely a tough grind for all these teams, especially at the end of the season, because these guys start to get to their inning limit. They start to get tired, even if they want to win that championship. Sometimes the coaches from their college programs want to bring them back home, and it's tough for these teams to be able to have enough players at the end of the year to really fight for a championship. But this is just a good example of some of these players who have really worked hard and got to this point here in the Valley League All-Star Game.
Yeah, for folks that have followed us on Facebook Live today, we've tried to get as many interviews as we could, relevant stuff starting a little after 3 o'clock, and we're also going to capture those Hall of Famer interviews and have those ready on Facebook Live afterwards. So, there's going to be a lot of things that, there's a lot to see, but you'll be able to go back and see some of the interviews, things like that. We've got a great interview with the commissioner that played earlier, and representatives from the various teams as well. So a lot to, if you're a Strasburg fan or Newmarket fan, you want to kind of put a face with the name, who the heck is Jay Neal? Well, we've got an interview with Jay Neal. Who's John Leonard? All things Valley League. So go over to Facebook Live, when it's all said and done. You can learn a little bit more about your team and also the Valley League.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is now, Dave, is with the social media, it's so easy to keep up with these players. So if you're a fan of a team like, let's say, the Woodstock River Bandits, well, you can head over to Facebook nowadays. You can watch them or you can listen on Stretch Internet, and it's just a lot easier nowadays to be able to keep up with all the players and teams.
Definitely is. We're going to get to our starting lineups here in a minute, but for now we're going to get to our national anthem. Kate Cummings on the national anthem.
By the dawn's what so proudly we did at the twilight's last. Bright stars through the perilous path. The ramparts we watched were so gallantly, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Kate Cummings on the national anthem. She's got her own style, kind of builds to the finish there. So good time to take a look at our starting lineups, and I apologize in advance, folks. An all-star game scorebook, which Kyle didn't bother with this year.
I didn't, no.
It can become a disaster. We'll do the best we can, and getting guys. Some guys will get one at bat, and they'll hit the first pitch into somebody's glove. So before the introduction comes, they're out.
Yeah.
So all-star games, we're going to get everybody into the ball game in nearly every case, but we're going to do our level best. We're also going to have probably a couple of interviews along the way. Billy Sample, Hall of Famer, probably going to join us, and then we're going to have Billy Burkholder likely to join us, but we'll see. We'll see. I know that Zach Hamilton and Jack Fitzpatrick, who've been running around all day getting you all this content for Facebook Live, they're also trying to line up a couple of interviews as well. So we will see how that goes. Just about to get going here. Let's look at these lineups, Kyle. Who you got in the South?
In the South, okay. Leading off and playing left field, it is Chase Cheek. Batting second and playing right, Pat Mccall. Batting third, the DH, J.D. Mundy. Batting fourth and playing first, Dominic D'Alessandro. Batting fourth and playing second, Austin Embler. Batting fifth and catching, Will Simonite. Batting sixth, Cole Swagger, the center fielder. Seventh, the shortstop, Bennett Hostetler. Batting eighth, or I should say, batting ninth, Zach Little, the third baseman, and Kyle Arona the pitcher tonight, and he is 3-1 coming into the game with a 1.32 ERA.
Yeah, Arjona is a pretty special arm. He's a guy that is probably going to be done when this is all over, but I'm really happy for him because the scouts are going to see him get a chance to throw. Another of our solid Turks from the University of New Orleans, and Rafe Schindler will see him on the back end because he's a guy with big-time closer stuff.
You caught me off guard there at the South.
I'm just switching it up, man. Switching it up.
You keep it.
Let's see. For the North. Where'd my North get to?
I think I stole it.
No,
Wait, no.
Let me see. This is what I need for the North. I'm trying to fight through a typo here.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Mason Prososki will lead it off at second base. Christian Avant will do the catching. Andrew Burden will be at first base batting third. Andrew Eister hitting a gaudy number at this point, somewhere in the mid-400s.
431.
Crazy number. We've had 400 hitters before, so, maybe he's going to, lock it down earlier than before.
Yeah.
Shortstop Alec Briggs will bat fifth. Clayton Jeffries, the left fielder, will bat sixth. Anthony Percora, a good-looking player, will play third base. Kenny Oyama, he's 4'11", he's 150 pounds, and he's a real dynamic player. Going to be in center field for the North. Justin Hayes, the designated hitter, and Kobe Foster will start the ball game for the North. And I think that these guys getting the start, they don't know how deep they're going to go, and it really depends on the coaching philosophy. Foster, the left-hander, will get the start. So righty versus lefty. And I'm kind of the school that if the starter, if there's anyone's going to get a wide berth and maybe go multiple innings, make it that guy.
Right, two or three innings probably is what you would see. Foster comes in 2-0 with a 1.61 ERA. So he's off to a good start so far. And that's the one thing about when you look at a pitcher's statistics. The one stat I really look at is ERA. I don't really value the record too much. Of course, 2-0 is obviously good, but you never know what can happen. You look at Max Scherzer in the MLB. He might get no run support and still pitch a great game and give up one run and get the loss. So definitely a stat that I don't look at too much is record, but both of these pitchers do have pretty good records. Kyle with a 3.1, 3-1 record, I should say, and Kobe for the North, he has a 2-0 record. So obviously these guys are having a good year, but they're going to look for hopefully an inning or two, maybe even three.
Yeah, I definitely think you want to give if anybody's going to get a wide berth, make it that starter. Lots of scouts here as always, and the crowd's all nice and jacked up, ready to get started here. Kyle Arjona, fastball slider guy, and he'll throw a slow curve as well. That's kind of his third pitch. But when you see him throw, he's really got kind of back-end stuff to me. He looks more like a closer stuff, but his third pitch is legitimate. He throws it for plenty of strikes. Got another year of eligibility left at New Orleans, so I think he's going to be on the radar. And his only loss of the season was one in the Turks' disaster week of walk-offs, is how we refer to it now.
Yeah.
We had about 3 years' worth of everything going wrong in 1 week. But the good news is there's plenty of ball games left to play.
Yep.
There's no quit in the team. Got a good win over Charlottesville last night. And, you're with the Strasburg Express, who have been to 3 straight finals, won 2 of them, but are off to a tough start this year. But, I think the pieces are in place for the Express to rally and have a good finish.
Yeah, there's plenty of season left, like you said, Dave. And Strasburg is 10-16 right now. They're 2 games out of that last playoff spot in the North. Newmarket scuffling a little bit, so yeah, I think Strasburg's got a pretty good chance. Pitching has definitely been an issue for them this year, along with a couple other teams. I know Woodstock, they've had a tough season so far. Their pitching's been definitely an issue for them as well. So I think Strasburg can do it. But, yeah, I was checking all those Harrisonburg scores, Dave, and I was seeing they were losing on walk-offs.
Unreal.
Like,
one after another after another. It was crazy. It was crazy. The only thing you can hope for when this game of baseball reaches up and bites you is that you've got some leveling effects coming later.
Coming out, yeah.
So the Turks feel like they have 3 seasons worth of leveling that are due to follow.
Gosh.
But it's the way it goes. I mean, this is a game where if you don't have the constitution to put up with the failure side of it, whether as a hitter or as a pitcher, I mean, you can do everything right as a pitcher and have a ball go through one of your fielder's legs, and guess who gets the L?
Yeah.
It's you. So it's a cruel game. Definitely is. But it's just so different than the other games. It has become a game of specialists at the highest level. But with the players here at this level trying to punch it through, have a strong finish to their collegiate career, maybe hear their name called in June, these guys are working on pieces of their game, hoping to impress someone along the way.
For sure, for sure. And looks like we're about ready for baseball, Dave.
Mason Prososki digs in. Left-handed swinging second baseman.
Yeah, and Mason comes into the game the first half of the season, I should say, Dave, batting .298. Mason from Winchester.
Arjona fires. Strike one at the knees with the fastball. He's a pound-the-zone right-hand pitcher, and nothing fancy about him. He won't waste too much time or a whole lot of effort on trying to nibble. Slider swung on, foul back to the screen, and Arjona he seems like a pitcher that you walk to the plate 0-2 against, but he is facing a formidable lineup here. Maybe that'll change things up.
Yep, good start for him, getting ahead 0-2.
Fastball way outside.
Trying to get a little bit extra on that fastball while the scouts are here. Might as well.
He was leading the Valley League in strikeouts for a while, but for the Turks, he really hadn't pitched in 7 or 8 days. Fastball missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Mason, as I said, a member of the Winchester Royals. They've been playing better as of late, moving up in the standings, up to 3rd in the North Division, passing Newmarket. Beat the Rebels last evening.
Slider, strike 3 called. That is Arjona's M.O. Get some paralyzing pitches. He can really freeze some guys. I like what I see there out of Brasowski as Christian Avant, not a teammate, comes to the plate. You got a few words for him. That's what teammates do. Give a guy an idea about movement, whatever you might do.
So that'll bring up Christian Avant from the Front Royal Cardinals, batting .380 on the year so far. Very solid player out of the first place Front Royal Cardinals team.
Sounds like an all-star number. Slider swung on and missed from Arjona. Kyle would rather just catch the ball, go right to the pitching rubber, and throw. That's the pace he wants to go at.
Not a problem.
0-1 pitch, slider, swung on and missed. And you hear about replicatable delivery and all the different mechanics that make it tough to pick up a pitch. Arjona's fastball slider, they look mirror image on release.
Yeah.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. High and tight with the cheese. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's about as much as you'll see him waste a pitch. I mean, he's trying to get you overmatched with the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Arjona deals. Slider chopped out to the mound. Backhanded by Arjona. Gets rid of it quickly. And a real nice play at first base. You got a tall first baseman on both ball clubs, but that's a great play by Dom D'Alessandro to come off the bag and reach back and get the tag for out number 2.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play there, Dave. Christian Avant. Yeah, he just chopped one, and the pitcher, he made a great play getting off the mound. It was an off-balance throw, but as you said, a great pick up there at first base and the tag for that second out here in the top of the first inning. But that's a good play there, coming off the mound off balance and getting that second out.
Yeah, he's athletic. He fields the position well, and he sensed that he needed to get rid of that quickly, too. So here comes Andrew Burden now. Pitches low for a ball.
Burden, also from the Front Royal Cardinals, batting .355 on the season.
Cardinals have just continued to impress. They really have.
Good hitting.
Slider swung on and missed. And a lot of these pitchers at this level, Kyle, they have one pitch that's ready to play. Arjona's slider is that pitch for him. He moves it around in the zone. He'll bust it under your hands. He'll use it as a backup pitch. 1-1 fastball. Pop down the left field line. A long run into the corner. Sliding, and the catch is made. Good-looking catch in left field. That's Chase Cheek. Terrific mobility. And Cheek is a guy with center fielder skills, and he definitely sort of circled around that, came back up and made the catch. And it had hooked foul either way, but still great range as you'd expect from an all-star outfielder.
So, Dave, 2 great plays already here through the first half inning.
Definitely do. And in all-star games, things are notorious for the pitchers dominating because they really pare down the offerings, and it's like, all right, I'm going to try and hit a number on the gun. I mean, how would you change your approach as a hitter knowing that these guys are in turbo mode?
Yeah, I mean, you really got to be ready. You're trying to show off, too. If you're the batter, I mean, the pitcher's got his agenda. He's trying to hit a number on the gun, maybe throw 92, 93 on the gun for the scouts. But if you're a hitter, you're trying to maybe hustle out of the box, show those scouts that you're not going to just go out there and jog and maybe hit the gap, get a double or triple into the gap, show off some speed, and show your ability on the base pass. So everybody's trying to do their own thing here. Even on the North and South Division All-Star teams, you're still trying to do something individually because you want to be seen out here by these scouts.
Definitely do. And next Monday and Tuesday, got the showcase All-Star event down there in North Carolina. The teams will be a little bit different. I think that next week we're going to get into that a little more in our Turks coverage, a little bit about the teams. I think the teams are kind of tasked to put together your prospect type teams, but you never really know. I think for the guys that have, just one more year of eligibility left, it's very important for them to be seen because you don't have
a lot of time.
You don't have a lot of time, and the window closes fast. If you're not even if you're an older collegiate, say 23, I mean even that is held against you.
Yeah. And now we see a 19-year-old in the big leagues, for goodness sakes, with the Nationals.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable when you see guys that are, the different levels of baseball, but one of them that people forget all the time, and they shouldn't because the league is 30% Latin. There's so many players in the Dominican that are already affiliated with a team at 15, 16 years old, signed that young.
Yeah.
Entirely different structure. But don't think that there's not a whole nother level of players outside the United States that the organization may already have them ranked in front of you when they sign you. So it's brutally honest. Chase Cheek will lead it off. First pitch is low for a ball to Cheek. He did not play much at Duke University. Duke had a fantastic year in the ACC, but wow, what a talent. Great speed, a lot of contact, a strike on the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike from Kobe Foster.
Yeah, I'm sure Duke will be liking what they see here.
Breaking ball, 1 hops the outside corner, 2 balls and 1 strike. This is the first time in quite a while the Turks have not had a player from Duke or Wake Forest. We normally have at least a couple from each of those schools in the ACC. Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on and missed. Cheek has got elite speed. I was genuinely disappointed when he did not run in the 60 today.
Yeah, and he's batting .422 on the season so
Big
far
number.
for lefty-lefty matchup here in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, those high numbers, you get a guy that can get leg hits as well. Fastball grounded right back to the mound. Fielded nicely by Foster. Throw to first is in time to get Cheek. And here comes Patrick Mccall, and boy, was his first couple weeks impressive for Charlottesville. He's cooled off a little bit, but at 6'6" and really a rangy, thin guy, what a prospect he is. Probably projects to corner outfielder, first base kind of thing, but he really just puts the bat on the ball very nicely. Hadn't really grown into the power yet, but I think it's coming with that frame.
Yeah, he's a big guy, batting .375 on the season.
Curveball, that's a beauty, but comes in there low. Nice roundhouse curve. 1 ball, no strikes to Mccall. And really, this lefty-lefty matchup with a guy with a hook like Foster, scouts like to see this type matchup. Can Mccall handle the lefty? There's a line drive, and it's a base hit to left field. Question answered, right?
Yeah.
You try and pull that, who knows? But you go the other way, you get
worked.
the first hit of the ball game.
So 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
So another lefty-lefty matchup, and J.D. Mundy brings thunder to the batter's box with him.
Yes, he does. Mundy batting .368 with 12 home runs, leading the league by far. And this is one of the bigger numbers that I've seen so far through the first half in any season recently in the Valley League.
Yeah, you're almost counting on a cool-off. Fastball catches the outside corner. Mundy's got light tower power to all fields, and I think that if he hits another dozen in the second half, then you really have a story. That'll be really maybe the wooden bat all-time record here in the VBL.
Had some tough luck in the home run derby.
Curveball swung on and missed. Big roundhouse curve, and what I liked about Mundy there, he seemed to stay fairly closed on that. Didn't fly open and wasn't fooled.
Yeah, big curveball there by the starting pitcher, Kobe Foster.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I wouldn't give Mundy too many fastballs anyways,
No.
because this guy is a heck of a good hitter.
Short lead from Mccall, 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. In on the hands, too close to take. and Foster had Mundy a little late on that. That to me is all about the breaking ball. Once you've got Mundy thinking about that captain hook, then you can get a little sneaky fast. That was probably 87 maybe, but got it under his hands.
Yeah, good location there by Kobe Foster. He got one of the toughest hitters in the league out there in Mundy. 2 outs.
Here's D'Alessandro, throw to first, and an easy retreat there for Mccall. D'Alessandro seems to have cleaned the bases with whoever is on them. He's, at last count, I think he was in the mid-30s and runs batted in. That, too, is a gigantic number at this part in the season, because the Tom Sox are not a prolific scoring team. There's a liner out towards center field, going to get down for the base hit. Mccall thought better of going to third. Oyama on that very quickly. That's a photo that we need to get, Kyle. We need to get Mccall next to Kenny Oyama.
Oh, yeah.
The 6'6" next to the 4'11". It's going to be Manute Bowl and Muggsy Bogues, the famous Washington Bullets photo.
Yeah.
Tallest guy and shortest guy.
That would make me think of Altuve and Aaron Judge together.
Absolutely.
That is crazy. But, hey, it reminds us of a former Lumberjack, Jose Carrera.
Yeah, a good one. Three-year Valley Leaguer, 3-year Valley League All-Star. Here comes Austin Embler now with 2 outs and 2 on for the South. Breaking ball in there for a strike. And that's Foster's pitch that's ready to play right now, that rollover curve.
Yeah, he gets ahead right there. Embler comes in batting .380 on the year, playing second tonight for the South.
He has spent most of the season over .400. He's cooled off a little bit, and he was here with the Turks last year, just kind of a flare hitter, a little sloppy in the field, and boy, he's cleaned all of that up.
Yeah.
Foster deals. Fastball swung on and missed. A little bit up in the zone. So no balls, 2 strikes. And, kind of a tale of 2 different approaches when you look at Arjona, the South starter versus Foster. But very effective because strike 1 seems pretty big in their repertoire. They do it a different way, but they've got you fighting an uphill battle in the at-bat.
And that's what scouts want to see. They want to see that you can get ahead of batters. 0-2 now. Foster
set, glances the runner at second and deals. Fastball just missed outside. Held there for quite a while by Christian Avant. I think it's got to help Foster a little bit to have Avant, his teammate catcher there from Royal. Don't need to worry about anything. No signs to worry about. I know what they are. Let's go.
Hopefully reading each other's minds at this point.
No doubt. 1-2 to Embler. Big curve, low and outside. Austin last summer for the Turks was really in take mode quite a bit. If you threw him a couple of balls, he would shut it down and force you to get back in the zone. Threw a lot of walks. He'd flare, single, and occasional double, and he's been thumping the alleys this year. Hit .360 in the spring, but he's an example of the maturation process you can see players go through. He is suddenly a prospect. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mccall at second. Foster slowing things down. Now he deals. Swung on and missed. Foul tipped into the glove. So good job by both Arjona and Foster getting out of a little bit of trouble with the power pitching. Nice mix of pitches there by Kobe Foster.
Yeah, it really was, and he got ahead of the hitters there. Even though he gave up a couple of hits, he did a good job of getting out of the jam and keeping this a tied ball game at 0, heading to the second inning of play here in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Now, the ballparks in the Valley League can vary greatly. We're here in the largest ballpark, major league dimensions, 330 to left, 320 to right, double high wall that extends all the way to the deep right center alley, 400 in center. This is what the scouts want to see. Who can run, who can throw, who can cover some ground in the outfield, all that kind of stuff. Now, you are the play-by-play man for the Strasburg Express. You have a very small ballpark up there. You can have some ball games where 10 or 12 runs are not enough.
That's true. The other night, it was 20. It was Woodstock and Strasburg. It was like 21-10 the final score, and you would think Woodstock scored 10 runs, they would win the game, but Strasburg hit a grand slam in the first inning on a pop fly to left where the wind just blew it out. And left field's not very deep in Strasburg, as you know, Dave, and as you were saying. It's probably, I don't even know, 310, 320 to left. I mean, it is not very very far, but definitely a good ballpark for home runs there in Strasburg.
Well, and you definitely, when you're putting a team together, which these coaches have the challenge of putting together the right team for the ballpark and all of that, for the Harrisonburg Turks, I mean, good baseball teams are normally built up the middle. You've got to have a shortstop with range and a center fielder here that can fly, can go and get it, because this is a triples ballpark. And you got to be careful here, because the synthetic turf and the big dimensions lead to a lot of triples. Whereas at Strasburg, a triple up there is going to be pretty doggone rare, and we might get. I think we have 6 or 7 home runs that have been hit here all year long. You guys probably had 6 or 7 in one game.
Yeah, we had that in one game. Yeah.
So it really matters, and putting the team together is it's a task that begins. Almost as the season is winding to an end, you're wondering, first of all, who do I want back? Are they willing to come back? That type of stuff.
Again, we are over on Facebook Live. If you're listening in on Stretch Internet, we're on the Valley Baseball League page, so thanks if you're tuning in over there.
New pitcher into the ball game. High and deep to center field, blasted, going back, circling back under it, and making the catch. So, wow, that was tagged, absolutely tagged. Andrew Eister, who had trouble in the home run contest, that was smoked. And he's long and loud out number 1. That'll bring up Alex Briggs, new pitcher in the ball game for the South.
Jeremy Cook. Cook, a 6'1 lefty from the University of Miami. And he is from Weston, Florida, and he plays for the Stanton Braves. See, this is what happens in the All-Star game. They get in there so quick, and looked like the South Division didn't want to run their starting pitcher out more than 1 inning.
In there for a strike, and really that was the plan with Arjona. I knew that going in.
Right.
No balls and 1 strike to Alex Briggs, the North shortstop. Slider just missed the outside, very close.
Yeah, that was a good pitch there. Just missing, though, by Cook.
1 ball, 1 strike. Tough sun field in right field here at Eagle Field, probably till about 8 o'clock. But you can have some tough moments on there on the right side. Fastball high and tight, watch out. 2 balls, 1 strike. Cook, you don't even have to ask if Cook is trying to hit a number. You can see him humping it up here. The scouts are looking deep, though. They want to see, the velocity on everything. Popped up foul right side on another live fastball. They're curious what the breaking ball and slider speeds are, and what kind of effort a guy's putting into this wind-up, and what does it look like difference to the hitter's eye, on all kinds of detailed stuff. Desperately trying to make the right call to their major league organization about a guy. Fastball down and in. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to look down below us, Dave, and see all the scouts pull out their radar guns at the same exact time and watch them write everything down. So it's pretty cool to see all these scouts here have their own little roped off area.
3 ball, 2 strike pitch, swung on and missed. That almost looked like it had a little run away from the right hand to swing there. So Cook has shown some late movement, which the scouts love. Late movement means you're not only going to get some strikeouts, but you're going to go from the barrel to the end sometimes, or the barrel to the trademark. And with the major league fielders, those are outs.
Yeah, for sure.
Fastball in there for a strike. Clayton Jeffries, the left fielder, getting a swing now.
Yeah, Jeffries, one of the bright spots with the River Bandits this year. He's batting .383 on the season.
Breaking ball, foul right out in front of the plate. Yeah, the Bandits gone through stretches of scoring, not scoring, been a little strange, but it's tough when the team ERA is as high as it is to gain any real confidence. Been a tough season for Woodstock. 0-2 pitch. Fastball just missed on the outside. Pretty rectangular zone so far. I like seeing that. You don't want a big zone because the pitchers are already bringing it. Breaking ball fouled off third base side. A nice job. It's never pretty to have an emergency hack and foul it off. Clayton Jeffries definitely late swing and foul it off, but you've got to have that skill. When a guy fools you, you got to be able to react and stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cook deals. Fastball swung on and missed. Another great mix of pitches by Jeremy Cook. And we've started off in all-star game mode where the arms are in front of the bats.
Yep.
Scoreless ball game. 2 hits so far. South will get another chance at bat, and so other than struggling out of the gate, the Express have had some exciting games. When I get the chance to look at your call, and now it's look at your call. It used to be just listen to the call.
Now it's look at it.
With that small ballpark, you've had some big time entertaining games. I mean, we have a lot of games here that'll turn on a play or two, and you guys have been filling up the box score in such a way that it's hard to even put your finger on the plays of the game. You guys hit the ball out of the ballpark and also give up a bunch of home runs.
Yeah.
So
goes both ways. We had one exciting game against you guys, the Harrisonburg Turks, a walk-off home run.
Walk-off to tie it, walk-off to win it.
Yeah,
well, actually, a home run to tie it.
Yeah, that error came back to bite the Turks, and then that brought up who was it that hit that one? I don't even remember. It's been so many crazy moments there this year.
And the Turks as a team have hit fewer home runs. I mean, if with our big ballpark, if the Turks ever lead the Valley League in home runs, that in itself would be a story, because you just got to cloud them.
Oh, that would be crazy. Yeah,
it would be crazy, and you'd probably win 35 games because the team's not even built for that.
No.
The Turks are a team. Bob Weiss, the Turks manager, will always say 5 is the magic number. We've got to get 5 and make 5 be enough tonight.
Yep.
And that more of a traditional. And the Turks are the team that'll play small ball in the second or third inning, because you're not a team built for power. You're a team that's built to score. Your rallies are 2-3 runs at a time, and if your pitching can't hold a team under 5, just as simple as that, you haven't really accomplished anything. That's a harsh way of looking at it, but that's the only playing style that will travel to all the ballparks.
Yep, you're right. Looks like we have a new pitcher on the mound, so these two teams, instead of going with their starting pitcher for more than an inning, they're going to only go 1 inning. Looks like the new pitcher is 6'3" lefty Chris Henry from Strasburg. Henry attends St. John's University, and he is from Yorktown Heights, New York, so he will take over here for the North Division All-Star team in the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Now, you'd be the person I'd ask about Henry. Tell us a little bit about Chris.
Chris has had a very solid year so far. He's done couple of starts. He's also been out of the bullpen a couple of times, but he's probably the number 1 or 2 pitcher on the Express this year. So he should be pretty good. He usually throws strikes pretty well, and he looks to get some ground ball outs. Contact pitcher, but see what he can do here. A couple of hellos over on Facebook. Joan Eister, Andrew Eister's grandmother, watching from Crystal River, Florida. John watching as we start the bottom of the 2nd.
Chopped out toward third base. Throw to first in time. So William Simonette didn't give us much of a time to introduce him. So one pitch and 1 out.
That's what I was talking about right there, that ground ball, and it went right to Chris Henry's teammate, Anthony Pecora, at third base for out number 1, so that'll bring up Cole Swiger, the center fielder.
Yeah, Swiger is a guy that was scheduled to be in the home run hitting contest, but ended up not being in that. So Stanton got off like a house of fire offensively this year. Fastball missed outside to Cole. Got a lot of guys with center field skills here in the All-Star game, and Cole gets the call in center for the South. Henry deals, popped foul back over us. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Pretty good crowd tonight here at the All-Star game.
Yep, as you'd expect. A lot of folks coming into Harrisonburg just for this one time. See their All-Stars, and sometimes they've been talking with team representatives and all that. Put a name with the face, and as announcers, we love meeting the parents.
Oh yeah.
Fastball missed outside. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And through the years, I've got parents that their kid was here 10 or 12 years ago that I still email with, and you'll see now that they're watching the stream and their kid was here 12 years ago.
Yeah, it's cool.
So it is cool. Pitch is down, 3 balls and 1 strike. See if Henry can battle back here. Scoreless ball game here in the bottom of the 2nd. The pitchers have been the story. 3-1 outside for a ball. And Swigert draws a 1-out walk. That'll bring up Bennett Hostetler, the shortstop. I think both divisions are really shaping up to be a dogfight. I think unless Woodstock really gets things turned around,
Yeah.
I think who the four are in the North is kind of a set deal. The seeding's another story. The South, who knows?
Oh, that's up for grabs right now. The South is very competitive at the moment.
In there for a strike. It's like Henry kind of dropped down the arm slot there. That's a nasty pitch.
And we'll get to the standings here in a couple of minutes. Just go over how tight the South really is, Dave, and it's pretty crazy.
Going to be a good team
Yes,
left out.
Yes,
that's
it
for
will,
sure.
for sure.
0-1 pitch outside for a ball. Okay, Henry kind of landed awkwardly. You could see on the mound, Kyle, the rectangle cut out where the pitcher lands. That was replaced about 10 days ago because it was just getting so much wear. Not only does James Madison play here and the Turks, but you have a lot of tournaments and showcase ball here as well. 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. That seemed to have some dip to it.
Yes, it did. South Division currently with 2 hits here so far tonight. North still looking for their first hit, but Chris Henry for the Express in the North Division trying to get a ground ball here. Maybe turn a double play, see what his middle infielders can do.
Henry set. 1-2. Flared foul. Back to the screen on the right side. Another good job to stay alive.
While we have a second here, try to get to some of the standings. We'll get to that actually in a little while because for some reason point streaks doesn't want to work for me.
Shocking. I can't get the internet to go from to the Valley League page all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So I think we just have too many people logged on. There goes the runner. Pitches inside. Throw to second. And what a great tag. A nice slap tag from the North second baseman, Mason Persowski. Very nice.
Yeah, that was a strike him out, throw him out double play too, Dave.
Absolutely. The pitch looked inside to me. I'm just, that's just what my eyeballs told me, but a heck of a throw. Really nice gun down there by Christian Avant. And I think that got to speak with Front Royals head coach in our pregame discussions there, and it was really nice to see him understand. He said, Christian Avant, yes, he's a catcher here in this game, but we've played him all over the place. He's like, I'll fill out my lineup, and I'm wondering what's what, and then I remember I have a Swiss Army knife that I can use and put into a lot of different ways, and Christian Avant has been that for him. Valley League Hall of Famer Ted Boziak is getting introduced and getting his plaque down here, and we'll have a discussion, just a brief couple of comments. Top of the third inning, scoreless here. Yeah, hard to get any good audio from down on the field, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boziak is someone that is well known down in the Stanton area and very important to just keeping the Valley League going. These relationships, you bring talent in here summer after summer. Boziak played and managed for the Stanton Braves, 53 to 59. Won 3 Valley League championships and also Virginia Mountain League title. John Moxley Memorial Stadium in Stanton has since been dedicated to Ted Boziak. We've got another one of our Hall of Famers going to join me here. Very familiar to you folks, James Madison University, Harrisonburg Turks, and the whole darn thing. And a guy who's no stranger to a headset that I'm giving him one right now. Now I want to welcome in Mr. Billy Sample.
Dave. Okay, I'm here now.
He's here now.
Hey.
And first of all, is JMU a little different than you were here, or what?
Well, let's see. There was nothing on the other side of 81 when I was here. I guess I'm dating myself now. And it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah,
stadiums here?
Yes, and obviously it used to be turned around the other way when you were here. And
I ran through a snow fence once, taking a grand slam away from a guy.
I remember the snow fence, the whole thing. Anthony Pecora leading off here for the North, swung on and missed. And I think that one of the things about the Valley League is the talent has come through summer after summer after summer. You played for the Harrisonburg Turks, and The ground ball down to third base. Zach Little is up with it. Throw to first is in time. And you played for your college coach, right?
Right, Brad Babcock.
And that is rare. Brad Babcock is in the JMU Sports Hall of Fame. I think that's something there. Just a huge winning percentage, like 680 or something like that for JMU. But you guys had some fantastic summers in the 74, 75, I believe.
We won the regular season there under Jim Lineweaver, who was the league president and the president of the club, which was it was great playing under Jim, Big Jim, and I really felt like it was almost big league, like a professional situation.
Well, and since you played 9 years in the big leagues, and I think that the grind, the players are introduced to the grind a little bit, and that helps you in the minors, right?
Great point. In fact, I told some of our AA players, and there were tough conditions in AA. We had the long bus rides from Tulsa to Jackson or Little Rock or El Paso or
Kenny Oyama hits this pretty good towards center field. Going to find the leather out there, though, for out number 2.
One of the things that the outfielders are going to have as they move up is that they're going to have tiers of stadium to deal with. Here you have maybe 1.5 tiers. As you go higher, you're going to get, and especially once you get to the big leagues, you're going to have 3-tiered stadiums.
You can lose it.
And that's going to, you can try to find it out of shirts, out of darkness. Sometimes it'll be a little more difficult for them, but I'm sure they'll love the opportunity.
Justin Hayes up there now. Oh, they'd love to play a kid's game for a paycheck. I guarantee you that.
And it's a big paycheck nowadays.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary and it's absurd. A whole other conversation there. But I think that one of the things I had the pleasure of doing was, researching the Hall of Famers this year, and along the way I realized the Turks center fielder lineage is seriously rich. I mean, Gene Richards was drafted number 1 overall. You were the Valley League MVP. Steve Finley.
Wow.
Juan Pierre.
Jeez.
Hello.
Yeah.
We're getting into the high-end district here, right?
Yeah.
And even
World Series rings.
Yeah, World Series rings, and even guys like Scott Cousins, who played in the major leagues for a few years, and I got about 9 or 10 center fielders, apex predators in center field. It's like all Harrisonburg Turks. What a lineage there. Ground ball off of the pitcher. He's going to recover, throw to first, but not in time. So good hustle right there. And Billy, since you played here and you understand this level and played well in the major leagues.
Right there.
Yeah, he was hustling. he was running it out. The scouts want to see that. Justin Hayes was flying. Yeah, he ran a nice low number in the 60-yard dash as well. Going to get a visit to the hill, but I mean, since you know the levels, I'd be a fool not to ask you the question: what is the difference? Is it nature or nurture, fighting the dog, or just straight up talent? What was the thing that allowed you to punch through?
Wow, I was a little fortunate, I think, that I didn't have any serious injuries. I had a couple of minor injuries, but nothing like a broken hand or a broken jaw, something leaning over the plate and get hit with a fastball in the face or anything like that. So that helped. I think growing up in a minor league town, as I did in Salem, helped a little bit too, because at least I had some interaction with some minor league players. I had a sense of what was needed, what I had to do to get there, so that helped a little bit. But what I tell most of the people, Dave, is right here in the Valley League. That helped me, I think, ascend towards pro ball and Major League Ball.
Slider down and in, throw to second is not in time. Good speed again by Justin Hayes right there. Mason Prasowski is the hitter. And I think that guys realize that the window closes fast when you're, say, 20 to 23. Better get some things figured out if you want to be a pro, huh?
Yeah, you didn't go too many 0 for 8s without worrying about it at the age of 21, as I was when I signed. And you're playing rookie ball. They sent me to rookie ball, and I'm with ages 17 to 22 or 23, and you had to get there in a hurry if you signed out of college.
Fastball is right down the middle. Now, you had a great career at James Madison, but you were also the Valley League MVP in '75. Doing the research for our program this year and writing articles, I found a picture, and I'll show it to you here at some point. Bill Burkholder
That's right.
handing you the
that was 42 years ago.
MVP
he hasn't
trophy.
aged today.
Well, you haven't aged today either. Ground ball base hit over the bag at third, and the North is going to take a quick lead here. Throw into second is not in time. So the speed of Hayes pays dividends as Mason Prasowski finds the left field corner, and it's 1-0 North.
One of the things I think that scouts would be impressed with, and I imagine we have a few here and there'll be some more at a showcase later on, when you hustle in and out of the dugout. And I know it sounds very simple and almost cliche-like, but I think it really gives the scouts an indication that you want to be out there. And it sounds really simple, but if I'm watching a game and there's two players about the same talent and one's hustling and one's not.
Popped up middle of the infield, called for and caught by the South shortstop there for out number 3, but the North cracks through and takes a quick 1-0 lead. And you're echoing what Coach Weiss says all the time. Don't be the guy that's the question mark. Be the guy that, from an energy standpoint, you bring your own. You don't need someone to put the key in your ignition. You're one less thing for the coach to worry about.
I wholeheartedly agree.
And it's one of those things where these players now, they're doing all this travel ball and doing all this kind of stuff, and guys are playing a lot and all of that. But there's no substitute for the quality, not the quantity of playing, the quality of play, how you play. That's why I think you're a 70s, 80s, 90s kind of player, and I think that there was a little more self-starter and a little more swagger in a lot of these guys. They didn't need to have some sort of psychological games played on them to get something out of them.
No, it's pretty much you out there, and nobody's going to answer for you. So you pretty much have to figure it out. And some of it is just how badly you want it. Do you want to put in the effort to get better? Do you want to? Now, that's not saying that everybody's going to make it to the majors, because that's not true. But you want to give yourself every opportunity to do so.
Yeah, fight in the dog. It has to be there.
Yeah, and talking about the numbers, just the sheer numbers that make it to the majors, Joe Klein, who was my first professional manager and was later my general manager in Texas, he had the first-year players, and some players who had come back from the previous year in Sarasota, Florida. And there were about 25, 27 of us or so. And he said, take a look to your left, pick out a person. Take a look to your right, pick out a person, because that's all that's going to make it to the majors.
Those are the numbers.
Yeah, and he wasn't saying it to scare anybody.
I refer to it as the 9 eyes of the needle you need to fit through to be a major leaguer. And there may be more. There may be more if you count them all.
Well, at the time that I was coming up, I think I heard the number 1 out of 13. It might be better now of players who sign professional contracts that make it. And in my days, Steve Comer preceded me. He was a change-up pitcher out of the University of Minnesota who was just there really to comprise a club. And he makes it to the major leagues in 2 years or so. He had an outstanding change-up. And Brian Allard was a pitcher that succeeded me to the majors. He was sort of a finesse right-hander, and that's all out of that group that made it to the major leagues, including myself.
Now, you played for the Rangers, the Yankees, and also the Atlanta Braves. What is your fondest memory of in the major leagues?
Oh, jeez. My fondest memory. This is on the field? No,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I know you have a wicked sense of humor. I've watched some of your production company stuff. I know you got some wicked sense of humor.
Oh, jeez. My goodness, that's a tough one. My fondest memory. I guess probably the only walk-off homer I hit of the 46, and we were trailing at the time. If it was an individual moment that I really liked, because I had to envision all of it happening and then have it happen.
Yeah, that's powerful energy when you can do that. Yeah. Jacob Bradley, the righty, on for the North. Zach Little leading off for the South. And I think that as far as just an experience, I've looked at some of your production company stuff. You've worked as a broadcaster, a sports writer, and kind of some doing some interesting things. You do a great job of tying in baseball and some humor, a little bit of history, a little bit of satire.
I didn't tell you about my book.
No, well, plug the book, Billy.
A Year in Pinstripes and Then Some. And I have a little Valley League reference in there.
Oh, good, good.
A little my upbringing in the Valley League, and as I talk here and tell you how much the Valley League meant to my ascension towards the major leagues.
Chopped out towards shortstop. Nice Sunday go to meet and hop. Throw to first is in time for out number 1. But I think that baseball, the stories surrounding baseball are just 10 times better than the other sports. Why is that?
I don't know. I was just telling someone that at these alumni functions, I cry after the first 5 minutes when you get together with teammates or former teammates or former opponents, and just the stories one after another just have you in tears laughing.
Chase Cheek is up there, swung on and missed. And a lot of these players are really diamonds in the rough. We see a lot of guys come through here that have 2, maybe 3 years of eligibility left, so you're kind of seeing an unfinished product with many of these guys. Swung on and missed on the slider from Jacob Bradley.
I'd worked with a team in Fairbanks, Alaska, the Gold Panthers. A few years ago, they had the worst record they had ever had there, and they had Tom Seaver go through there, Dave Winfield, Barry Bonds, Jason Giambi, and a few others lined out of play down the left field line. And from last year's draft, when they matured into juniors, they had 9 players drafted, and this was a terrible team.
So they've turned it around.
They still had 9 players drafted from that team.
Breaking ball, low for a ball. Nice looking breaking ball on 0-2 there. But so many of these pitchers, you see them, they've got one pitch that's really ready to play now, and the rest are kind of, let me try and hopefully figure this out.
Well, the more pitches you have, the more difficulty it is for the hitter.
Absolutely.
If you can locate 3 pitches, oh my goodness, that's really tough when you're facing somebody that can locate 3 or 4 pitches.
Now, what was your preferred pitch? What did you want to see that you could barrel up?
Oh, fastball.
Yeah, okay, all right.
You had a fastball, I had a swing for it. If you thought about putting a wrinkle in it, I was susceptible. But
yeah.
if you had a fastball, you were proud of your fastball? Oh, yeah. Yeah, try to throw it on the little guy's arms. Come on in here.
Now, I'd be remiss in not mentioning that you're also a Virginian, and we love that when a Virginia guy really makes it all the way to the top level like you did. Describe what things were like just coming from high school to JMU and eventually through the Turks and on to the big leagues.
Well, Brad Babcock saw 2 of my games in high school. I went 0 for 8 combined.
Popped foul,
and
third base
I didn't really
side.
have any other offers. I don't know where I thought I was going. Actually, I was drafted in the 28th round, so I guess I could have signed. But I thought I felt that I wanted to go to college. I didn't have to go to college and play baseball at the same time, but I wanted some further education. So it all worked out well. I thought after my junior year in football, I tell people I was a better football player. Maybe some of the people in Salem will back me up.
Breaking ball grounded foul down first baseline. Chase Cheek, this kid at the plate here, can really fly. I'd love to see him hit a ball up the gap and show that. Young kid from Duke University, elite speed. I was very, very upset they didn't run the 60 because I think he'd have dropped down a low number.
Like a 6'4" or something, 6'5"?
We had a 6'4" today.
Wow,
6'4"? There's actually been a 6'2" here in the Valley League. We had a Turk run 6'2" about 12 years ago.
Crossover step with spikes?
No, in unis like this, yeah, and Patrick Norris from Oklahoma City University,
6'2"?
who was a track guy turned baseball, and he made it all the way to high A ball, being nothing but an athlete.
Wow, that's a low fly.
That was elite speed, and we started to look into his background, and it's like, oh well, he was the 100 and 200 state champion, where he can't. It's like, okay, it all makes sense now. Putting a bat in his hands because he was not a baseball player at all. But he would drop one in front of a third baseman, and it would just not even be a throw. Left-hand hitter, just crazy. Not a baseball player at all, but incredibly entertaining.
Is he still playing?
Swung on and missed. No, he made it up to high A ball. Played about 3 years in the minors, but just shows you that you got one tool, and it's that good. You can fool some people.
Yeah, couldn't steal first ultimately. Huh?
Right. Yeah, ultimately. And he plays center field, and you remember Devon White, how Devon would just move. Devon looked like he was gliding to the ball and would outrun the ball. And we know that's not possible, but Devon would make it look like that was what was happening.
I saw him do something. It was like you put, I don't know how many feet up in the air, maybe 4 feet up, some kind of barrier, and he could jump over it back and forth. Back and forth.
He was crazy athletic. Crazy athletic. Patrick Mccall up there now from the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Yeah, the people, whenever you're talking about fielding center fielders, if you don't mention Devon White, you need to open your eyes a little bit more. He would just make the most difficult plays look routine. 3 balls, no strikes to Mccall. Maybe he'll get to an all-star game green light here, possibly. Kid's hitting almost 400.
Why not?
Yeah, well, there's no downside, right?
I can't remember who won the Major League All-Star game last year. So
yeah, it's less interesting than it was. It really is, and I think that do they feel like they're playing to win? It doesn't seem like that. It's got that same kind of. I don't like it tied to home field advantage in the World Series.
Well, they stopped that last year.
Yeah, I know, but I hated that.
Yeah, I did too.
It's absurd. I'll take interleague play. I'll take that one because that's a real measure.
Yeah.
The interleague play at least gives you 162 games or however many they play to make a measure. Inside for a ball to J.D. Mundy. This young man has 12 home runs here at the All-Star break, and that's a number right there. He's hit a bunch of rainbows. 2 outs and 1 on. Down and in for a ball. Looks like they're being kind of careful with him.
I'm trying to think of the teams that were in the league when I was here that are still in the league.
Definitely Stanton. Definitely
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville. Were they in '75? Charlottesville still is. They were the
They were.
Tom Sox were the number 1 team in all of summer baseball last year, by the way, too. So
wow.
yeah, they took it big time. I think the Turks have made it to number 4 before, but it's all subjective. Newmarket's in the league, of course. Yeah, one of the oldest VBL teams. 2-0 pitch is outside for a ball, so the North's going to get in some trouble here with the power part of the lineup.
Yeah, we played an all-star game against a team from the Pennsylvania-New Jersey League or something like that.
3-0 pitch in there for a strike.
At the Vet in Philadelphia with that painted green concrete they call it.
Oh, my goodness. Kyle's a Philadelphia sports fan. I've told him about the Vet. He has no idea now.
Oh.
Well, Billy played on it, so he knows firsthand, it's like a piece of plywood painted green or concrete.
Oh, they had worse. They had Montreal. That was bad.
Speaking of that, who was the toughest arm that you faced? Probably a guy with a good breaking ball. But who's the guy you just did not want to head to the plate against?
How much time we have for this game? Somebody else asked me that earlier. I'm going, let me come back with a list for you.
Chopped foul, first base side. Little change up there trying to get Mundy out in front. 3 balls and 2 strikes. He can put the South on top with 1 swing of the bat, but really nice job by Bradley to not give him anything hard and straight in a hitter's count.
Let's see. I didn't do well against Tom Underwood, and both Tom and I knew that I didn't do well against him. And I got a base hit that was so pitiful that
3-2 hit high and deep to center field. This ball's got a lot of air under it. Oyama way back on the warning track, and it's off the wall. The game will be tied. Mundy's thinking about 3 bases here in the Triples ballpark. The ball was juggled. He maybe could have thought about 4, Billy.
He was being waved around, but he had started to slide at the same time he was being waved around. So that was a pretty good relay throw to the plate, but I'm not sure if it was going to be strong enough to catch him if he hadn't committed to the slide before he was being waved around.
Well, Mundy let the scouts know he's got some thunder in the stick. He gave that one a rocket.
Yeah.
So 1-1 game, and the hitters are starting to figure out the pitchers. Now, in your era, I think of the great pitchers in your era. How much did you face Nolan Ryan?
I only had 2 starts against Nolan, both in 1979. I got the second hit of a 2-hitter he threw in Anaheim, but if Oscar Gamble didn't get the first hit in the 7th, I don't think I was getting the second hit in the 9th.
Now, whenever I go through my baseball cards, Oscar Gamble, Bake McBride, sweetest froze of the 70s, right?
That's true.
Breaking
That's
ball
true.
is low. Yeah.
Gary Maddox.
Yeah. Yep. And Oscar Gamble and the Yankees had Mickey Rivers, Oscar Gamble kind of at the same time, and they'd both just kind of hobble.
They were traded for each other.
Okay,
and
they would hobble to the plate like they can't move.
Oh, especially Mickey.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It was just was it a comedy routine or did he actually have gout?
I'm gonna have to ask Mickey the next time I see him. But I saw him a few years ago at a card signing at Hofstra University.
2-2 pitch swung on and missed, so the South ties it up, and with you guys have made it to the major leagues, it becomes a whole different level of exposure and allows you to do different things. You mentioned that within a few minutes you guys get together, have stories, and you're crying from the laughter. what a gift that's got to be on some level.
And you're talking about 2 of the funniest people, and Oscar, bless his heart, he left us not too long ago, and I spoke to Oscar maybe 6 weeks before he passed, and you could still hear the excitement in his voice. He had this disease where it eats into your jaw. I don't know what it's called. I wrote it down at some point, but
right.
And he wasn't able to talk, but you could still hear the excitement, what little he could say in his voice. And he's one of the guys that I couldn't wait until he got into the clubhouse, because there was this kind of kinetic energy that Oscar had that just lighten everyone's mood.
And I'll tell you what, Oscar Gamble, I'm an Orioles fan, and Oscar Gamble as a pinch hitter killed the Orioles. He had deceptive power.
How do you feel this year?
Well,
I felt bad for Buck this year looking at him. Oh, my goodness.
And I feel even worse when I look at the farm system.
Oh, it's even bad.
Yeah, there's
that's bad.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's a good thing that I paid in advance for therapy, so that's how bad the Orioles have been this year. But hey, it's just a game. I'm not involved. I enjoy getting the chance to call the Harrisonburg Turks games that I have for 17 years because I get to meet great former Turks and great former Valley Leaguers. And
nice of you to say.
Well, it's an absolute pleasure. I've worked for the Orioles before. I've been at the top level, but I really just love this level where the players are on the cusp. You don't know storytelling wise, and it's just a heck of a lot more fun than watching millionaires run around complain. I mean, it
and
just
the stories are good in the minors too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a lot more colorful because guys there's a genuineness to it that at some point in the major leagues there's less of it. But you being in 3 organizations, I would imagine you've got a Rolodex of contacts. Does anyone even know what a Rolodex is anymore? But
I still use one.
Yeah, well,
embarrassingly so. But yes, I still use a Rolodex.
But a ton of contacts, and I would imagine that provides you with a lot of fun. And I think that you've got your book out there, and I've seen some of your production company stuff. You've connected things to baseball and humor, which is always a winning play.
Oh, thank you. That's awful nice of you to say. Thank you. And I wish the best for you and Buck.
Well, we'll see. I'm not sure if there's going to be much more of Buck. Now, who are your managers and what do your major league?
I had 8 of them.
Oh, that's all. Okay. Well, you'll need your Rolodex for that one too.
Yeah, that's.
Well, what
I had 2 Billies, by the way.
Okay, well,
I might be the only Billy that had 2 Billies as manager.
Now I know there's some Billy Martin stories in that book.
Oh my goodness.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
Fastball inside.
The one where he told Goose to hit me in the head in spring training? That one?
Ugh. Andrew Burden, the first baseman, getting the swing here. That is up high. Dangerous hitter right here, but kind of tough to get around on Cody Mall, the lefty from Charlottesville. He struck out a whole bunch of Turks and got our attention. 2-0 pitch. Popped out toward left field, twisting toward the foul line. A long run for Cheek, and he will slide. Gets into the Turks' bullpen. He's a center fielder and can get to a lot of balls, but he wasn't going to get to that one.
Oh, what great effort he gave, though.
Yeah, he's got several years of eligibility left at Duke. He's going to be one that you follow, and I think that every summer we leave with a whole new list of guys that will follow through the minors and all that. It's just interesting to see the development side, see who's got that fight in the dog to get through to the other side.
And sometimes it's temperament. You have to have the ability to grind through 120, 140, 162 game season.
Liner out toward left field, and there's Cheek again making the squeeze on that one. But I think that that temperament is really tested when you play 12 games in 13 nights and all that type of stuff, when the Valley League can do that to you. Yes. Everyone's been underwater here this spring, and we really have a compressed schedule now.
Oh, a lot of doubleheaders?
Well, trying to keep those at a minimum, but the off days have gone, you can forget it, gone kaflooey. But that does test you, and that temperament definitely gets tested in that regard.
I was a painter at the college.
Really?
Or at least my coworkers said that I held a brush.
But you don't remember? Here's Andrew Eister now. Swung on and missed. Nice
change.
Yeah, nice change by Maul there. He's got the total package, and he uses his breaking stuff well. That helps his fastball play up. Got to do that. But the splits, I mean, were you a guy that hammered lefties and struggled against righties?
I was 274 lifetime against lefties, 266 against righties, but I
would have rather.
Yeah, I would have rather faced righties though. It seemed like it was easier to keep my shoulder tucked against righties than lefties, and lefties seemed like they could do more with their pitches. They have the sort of the natural running away fastball,
right?
And then they
turn
could
a lefty turnover, sure.
Yeah.
I think the lefties work on the secondary pitches more than the righties, unless you're just a lefty that's got serious cheddar, But each of these guys is figuring out their way. What can I do? 2-2 pitch, inside corner for strike 3. Eister not a fan of that one. and Maul gets the strikeout. But, the thing with Cody Maul, he will move it around in the rectangle and use his mix of pitches, and that becomes pretty tough. So I've been very impressed with him. He's a little undersized, but I think that the size element, we think of guys, Virginians that went big time despite being small. You're not a big guy
Billy
yourself.
Wagner.
Exactly. That's where I'm going. Billy Wagner.
Yeah.
You're 5'9", you throw 94 miles an hour, you're going to turn some heads, and then he bumped it up even higher when he got to the major leagues. So you better get that bat off your shoulder, because here he comes. Nobody cares if you're 6'9" or 5'8" at that point.
Al Holland?
Yeah. Oh, Al Holland, yeah.
Al's
Nice.
a little taller, but Al, I played American Legion ball against Al, and you didn't have to wait for it. He'd bring it up there for you.
Absolutely. 1-1 pitch, chopped foul, third base side. So 1-1 ball game, and I apologize for running long, but I got a former Harrisonburg Turk and now Valley League Hall of Famer next to me, Billy Sample, and I've been thrilled to speak with Billy, and one of your heroes just walked in.
We have a picture together from 42 years ago. He hasn't aged at all.
Absolutely. Ground ball down the foul territory area. 1-1 ball game here, top of the fourth inning. Both teams struggling to get some hits, but they've cashed them in. Well, Mr. Sample, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and leave us with some words of wisdom.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of some others. Underwood, Shane Raleigh, Neil Heaton, all those left-handers I had trouble with. The right-handers didn't bother me quite as much. Words of wisdom. Try, in whatever genre you're in, try to improve tomorrow from what you did today, or be better today than you were yesterday. And
a cumulative effect.
Yes, I remember that of all the speeches that I heard. Bob McClellan, who's no longer with us, but a sports writer in Roanoke when I was growing up.
Little ground ball out to shortstop. Gobbled up, throw to first in time for out number 3.
And that stayed with me.
Yeah,
try to improve.
That's
daily.
a winner. That's a definite winner.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Billy. And I'm going to get you guys that photograph. I think that's a nice photograph.
Oh, I got one at home.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah.
He's got one at home.
That's why I said he hadn't aged a bit.
I found it randomly on the internet, of all places, and I was like, I wrote an article about each of you, and I said, I've got to have that. That's the bridge to my 2 Hall of Famers right there.
He's really nice. He's good, right? I bet he's got a rap with the women too.
Well, I have one woman.
You have one woman. She got a rap.
She's
she
the
likes
best.
your rap.
She's the best. No, I am off the market. And that just one.
Oh, I love getting people in trouble. All right, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. Congratulations on being a Harrisonburg Turk and a Valley League Hall of Famer, and a heck of a lineage of Turk center fielders. Billy Sample among some of the best, but apex predators. Each team has got their guys, but I was shocked, Kyle, to see when I started adding up all the Turk center fielders, how many we had. It's like, okay, batting title, stolen base, World Series. Like, oh my goodness, this is a huge list.
Yeah.
But join me here for a half an inning, and we're going to have Billy Burkholder join us here in just a minute. 1-1 ball game. The pitchers have dominated. It's a big day here in the Valley League. We've got the ball game. We've had all these great interviews. Hall of Famers. Billy Burkholder is going to join us. Had a chance to talk to Billy a while back, and they've got a nice little thumbnail for Mr. Burkholder, but also a heck of a basketball player in the Bridgewater College Hall of Fame. So a lot of interesting things about our Hall of Famers, and I like to see how guys view then to now. That's always the cool questions there. So what are your impressions of the teams here so far?
Oh, pretty evenly balanced, Dave. I mean, it's 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. J.D. Mundy with that big hit off the wall a little bit ago while you were doing the interview was well hit. And like you guys said, if Mundy would have just kept going around third without sliding, he would have made it because it was bobbled.
You never know that.
Yeah, you never know. So good job there.
But for Mundy, that was the swing he wanted the scouts to see.
That was a beautiful swing.
He wanted the scouts to see the thunder in that stick, and he showed it right there.
If that was at the left, that would have been way, way gone.
But, getting detailed, he actually collapsed and came in and got the barrel to it, all the things that they love to see, all in one swing. So, that's definitely what you want the scouts to see.
Yeah, we'll see if the North can hold the lead here as we start the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 the game, 3 hits for the I guess the whole team this year, Dave, is the South. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, because they're batting right now. Trevor Eubanks from the Newmarket Rebels is on the hill now. He's from Southern Mississippi. Austin Embler from the Turks will lead it off. Fastball in there for a strike, and we're going to welcome Billy Burkholder in now. Going to speak a little bit with Mr. Burkholder. Back-to-back Billies here, and we like that. Guys with Turks lineage and Hall of Fame. 1 ball, 1 strike to Austin Embler, and welcome, Mr. Burkholder.
Well, thank you. It's my pleasure. It's a surprise that you had me.
Well, you're a Hall of Famer, so you're not just a regular spectator to the ball game here today, sir.
I tell you what, it's quite an honor, and I'm very proud of it.
Well, I think the Valley League has played a big part in the development of a lot of baseball players, but you're someone who had success with baseball and also basketball. And tell folks about the era of traveling so much and playing so much ball.
Well, it's a tough job. There's no doubt about it. The league is a good starting point. They get a lot of experience here, play with ball players that are as good or better. And it's a rough road, and anybody that makes it to the big time, I'll take my hat off to them.
It's difficult. It's fitting through the eye of the needle over and over just to get there.
Yes, sir, and then after you get there, they tell me it's tougher to stay.
Well,
There's always somebody.
They keep hiring people to replace you.
Somebody's always on your tail.
Yep, it's definitely difficult. So you got to have that right temperament and have good routines to to kind of block a little bit of that out, keep your body right. A lot of things you got to get right. You only need to fail at one of those to get fired.
You have to certainly be in good shape. All the travel and
Embler walks.
the different restaurants and different beds and. It's not as glossy as it looks.
Right, in the rearview mirror, maybe, but you lived it.
You earn, yes.
Now I think that for folks that they look at these players, it's hard to tell what players have kind of topped out here and which others are true prospects that have several more levels to get better. I think that's the real challenge for these scouts.
That's the challenge, and so many times it's the boy that wants it the most, not the one that has the most talent. I've seen that happen. You think that this guy will never miss, and another one will never make it, but with his desire and hustle, it's reversed.
William Simonette up there now, no one out and a runner at first base. And David Eckstein came through Harrisonburg, and Coach Weiss remembers he could barely throw the ball to first base from the shortstop position, and he was not a guy you would project. It's just making it difficult for you to put him in the lineup, but he was just scrappy and had heart. And I interviewed David, and he said he thinks he was the last guy that didn't get cut probably on 6 teams along the way, but he just started to figure some things out. Little liner to right field and caught down there in the right field corner. Good active play there.
Well, that's very true. I had the experience and the pleasure of playing with Billy Martin in the service. And it was, I don't know why, but we became very good friends. And Billy was that type ball player that you're talking about. He wasn't impressive, but he hustled and he loved the game, and he was a good student of the game.
Absolutely.
And, Billy told me, he said, one day we were talking, and he said, Billy, I never was the most talented person to wear a Yankee uniform, but he said I was the proudest. So that makes a difference.
Cole Swagger up there now, and Billy Martin, just who Billy Martin associated with the New York Yankees, that is an encyclopedia of stories.
That is that, yeah.
Fastball
I knew him when Billy the Kid, and I enjoyed knowing him. I was proud to know him, and afterwards he had a lot of problems.
Well, yeah, and you hear that, and I know that Billy Sample that just left, he knows plenty about Billy Martin as well.
Right.
But Billy Martin and the era of players, that rode trains and played sports and all of that, things were a lot different back then. Baseball has come into modernity now. It's totally different, but it was a different kind of vibe in the 50s and 60s and things like that. And it was a rough and tumble,
It's a different game than it was when we came through here years ago, and I played with under George Dinges. He was a first baseman for the Red Sox during the war years, and he and Billy played 2 different games. George would would play for the big inning. The rallies, nice rallies, score a lot of runs. Well, Billy was just the opposite.
Small
So
ball.
There's more than one way to play the game.
Yeah, and actually when Billy got a real second life with the Oakland A's when he was their manager, and that team had speed to burn, and you didn't have to ask Billy Martin twice how to use that lineup.
That's right.
Yeah, and he took the A's from the cellar to the top by playing that small ball.
I just wanted to point out that there is different ways to play the game
Definitely.
and win.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and Coach Weiss here is with this ballpark. We're a small ball team.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah. Right.
He plays to get get 2 runs across and figure it out from there.
This is a very, very nice facility. It really is.
Now, when you were involved with the Turks, everything was turned around. Home plate was
Right.
way out there beyond the
Right.
JMU eye you see there in center.
All dirt infield, and the outfield was so rough and clumpy, you never got a good bounce.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Swigert. Cole has had some big cuts here.
In fact, I think we could use some of this carpet in our living room.
It's unbelievable. It used to be a little bit of dirt here around the bases and the
Right.
mound, and now they changed that bit by bit.
Yeah.
Slider
Beautiful.
must have stayed up. Yeah, I think that it's a different thing, and the rectangle you can see on the mound has recently been replaced because it's gotten a lot of wear.
I was wondering about that.
Yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now, very rarely you will see someone, even when it's wet here, you'll not see anyone slip unless they're sliding. You can
Right.
slide by a base
Right.
here
Right.
very quickly.
Yeah.
Ground ball base hit into left field, so with 1 out, and going over to the third base, heads up play by Austin Embler kind of stopped a little, and I think he sold the left fielder that he wasn't running, and then he took off and went to third. So first and third situation for the South here with just 1 out. And I'll tell you, I was thrilled beyond belief because I get to kind of do a little historian type stuff for the Turks and all of that right in our articles. And I had something for both of the Billies, for you and individual photos. And I came upon that photo with you handing him the 75 MVP trophy. And my wife was on the I'm on the first floor of my house, and I was like, yes!
Yes.
I was like, that doesn't get any better than that.
Billy made a remark to me when we were
Grounded to
chatting.
first, throw to second, dug out for the out, throw to first, not in time. So,
And during the conversation, Billy said, "You really look good." Said, "You look younger than you did in the picture." And I said, "Billy, why don't you ask me how I feel?"
yeah, absolutely. So 2-1 South now, manufactured a run there, and I think that you played a variety of sports at a high level, and I can imagine that some injuries will go to hide, but they don't go away.
You're right. It's good for us, and I think it's very, very physical. When we're younger, we can stand it. We don't mind. But I think you get older, you pay for it.
Yeah. Here's Zach Little for the Turks now. 1 run in here. Pitched a little, flared out to left center. Nobody plays there, and that's going to be an RBI single for Zach Little to give the South a 3-1 lead. Some scrappy plays here. Now, from your time in the Valley League, whether managing, what player came through in your era that you really saw, just a raw talent, the top guy that you ever, had firsthand association with?
Well, there were probably several. But the one that stands out in my mind when I went at Stanton was Billy Wynn. He was a pitcher, and Billy was a pitcher. He didn't throw that hard.
There goes the runner, and he is tagged out there. Close play there. Little thrown out for the final out, but the South gets 2 runs to take a 3-1 lead. And, comparing the different eras, he's a guy that, old school, it doesn't matter. He's going to have success in any era.
These pitchers, we never threw this hard.
Right.
We just didn't. It was a different game. And Billy was a pitcher. He was a very intelligent pitcher with excellent control. No real big breaking stuff, but he was, and he finally ended up in the White Sox organization, and he ended up with the White Sox for
Good,
a year.
outstanding.
So Billy was one of the good examples of not having outstanding talent, but going all the way.
I think that a lot of people don't realize the Valley League was so very different. There was actually a summer, I think it was in the early 50s, where the Valley League, which didn't have NCAA affiliation at that point or whatever, the Valley League played an 84-game schedule. It went from May through early, so totally different. And things have changed a little bit, but I think this is a great opportunity for the boys to come here. And you can't hide now in the electronic era. You have one big season. I mean, Shane Billings from Wingate was here, and he'd already had some decent seasons at college, but they're Division II, and a lot of scouts aren't really taking it seriously. He came here, hit .418, was the league MVP. All of a sudden, he's on the radar, and he's in his fourth year in the minor leagues right now, climbing the ladder. So you only need to go big time once.
That's right. Yeah, you're exactly right about that. There's no question.
See, and the other way to describe it is that there's all these organizations, and you only need one dance partner. You only need one scout to push his chips to the middle on decision day and say, I think there's upside to this guy. Give him a look.
You definitely have to have somebody liking you in the organization also. Yeah, you need that break, and they get so many breaks when your players get injured. Then they got to take looks at these guys, and they turn out taking the guy's job in a lot of places. So it's tough business.
Well, the draft is happiness and sadness for a lot of guys, because you're happy when you get drafted and you get an opportunity and all that. But keep in mind, for you guys that are in the organization, they keep hiring people to replace you. That is a pretty tenuous situation.
Baseball, in a way, is a cruel game, but to the owners and stockholders, it's a business. And they're gonna take the product that does the job for them.
Definitely are, but I think that just speaking with Billy, just some of the associations he's got, the major league level and all the things, it seems to have opened a lot of doors for an outgoing personally like Billy.
Oh, no question about that.
So it's a double-edged sword, but when you do make it up there and learn, he looks like he could just make a round of phone calls and have so many stories and fun in a given day. That's his dividend on the back end.
Right.
Jordan Eglight in there now. Misses outside with the fastball to Clayton Jeffries. 3-1 ball game. The South on top. Got Billy Burkholder in here talking to me. Newly minted Hall of Famer. And we always like that, whether they have an association with the Harrisonburg Turks or not. We always like to meet the new Hall of Famers. And, as far as the players go, I mean, what would be some words of advice that you'd give some of these Valley League players, just the difference between them going from being a decent collegiate to actually living that dream being a pro?
Well, you have to love the game, first of all, and I think you have to play it with a lot of enthusiasm. You play hard, and when you do that, good things happen.
Fly ball out towards center field, going to be a routine play there. Anthony Pecora on the swing. So 2 quick outs here for the South. I think that nature versus nurture. You got to have some. God has to have touched you a little bit to have the talent. You're not going to get by with just having average athleticism and talent. But if you don't put the work in, I mean, hard work will beat talent if you don't put that work in.
Right. If I had a boy that had a lot of talent and was lazy, and I had another boy over here that had a lot of enthusiasm and hustle, I'll take the guy with the hustle and enthusiasm.
Yeah, and it not only translates to his game, it translates to the team game much better as well. Oyama, a little bunt attempt, beautifully placed there. Speed kills, and when you put it into the triangle there, you're going to beat that out. So nice looking play. Now, he is 4'11", and he's another of these players that we've had some short players in the Valley League before, but he
looks like a Altuve, isn't it?
Yeah, very much like a Jose Altuve, and we had Jose Carrera from the Covington Lumberjacks in the league for 3 years.
Yeah.
Switch hitter who hit over 300 all 3 years, all-star all 3 years, played in the Yankees chain for 2 seasons. So they didn't care that he was 5'2" after a while.
There you are with the guy with desire.
Yep.
Hustle.
Yeah, you don't have to wonder where his energy is. His energy's right out there for you to see it.
They'll beat you in a number of ways.
That's right. There goes the runner. Throw down to second a little high, and he is underneath of it. Heck of a try by the shortstop flashing through there. Nearly got the slap tag on him, so a real nice attempt there by Bennett Hostetler to get the tag flying through. Now, I think that one of my favorite players, a guy whose energy was just permeated the game, I always liked Rickey Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
And because I think if every team had a Rickey Henderson, line drive base hit into the right field corner, Oyama will score easy, and it's going to be a double, possibly 3 bags. That'll cut it to 3-2. Great looking swing there. Christian Garabedian coming in as a pinch hitter. St. Thomas University jumped on the first pitch, and the stolen base leads to run number 2, and here comes the North. But a player like Rickey Henderson, if each team had him, I think games would have ended 10-9.
He paid quite a name for himself. He broke a lot of records, and he was one of the good ones. He was a durable player. He played most every day.
Absolutely.
And he got the job done.
Yeah, and really just athleticism personified. Just a guy that could just beat you in a lot of different ways. And
absolutely.
Very seldom you had to wonder where his energy was. Changeup gets away from the catcher, and over to third base will go Garabedian. So with 2 outs now, the South just a little bingo away from tying this thing up. Neither team has done major substituting. We'll probably see that later to get all these players in the game. But looks to me, the way the coaches have stayed kind of pat, they're not here to make an appearance. They're here to win a baseball game.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
They're going to win every chance they get. Yep. Funny thing, you see a lot of runs scored with 2 outs.
You do, and that's a good sign of hitters staying deep in counts too. 2-0 pitches fouled off. Good pitch to hit there, but maybe a little changeup had him
off speed.
Yep, nice work. One of the things now, you see Eubanks here on the mound. The athleticism on the mound has gone way up.
Oh yeah, athletes are much bigger and stronger, more agile. They're just better.
Yep.
And
they work year round.
They do, and they have facilities and trainers, and it's just amazing that and if you put your heart into it and work hard at it, you're going to get better.
Flared foul, left field, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, sports science and kinesiology and all of it. Is, they're putting guys' arms back together now, and they're coming back throwing hard because in the 50s and 60s, God be done. You'd say, well, what was it? A bad arm.
Right.
And what that tells you is they didn't even know what it was. They just called it bad arm and move on.
Right.
So no one even got inside and figured it out. Very close pitch called for a ball there. So full count here. Tie run at third base. Mason Prasowski got a chance to deliver the mail. 3-2 pitch is low for a ball, so quality at bat. We'll see if the North gets the runner at first moving, try and create some havoc here. That's one of Coach Weiss's favorite plays is the first third double steal, because at this level, one of the things you really see is the catchers aren't premium yet.
Yes.
As you go up through the levels, the catchers are scary good.
That's right. Yep.
I mean, they're cleaning up. They're cleaning up a lot of the ills of these pitchers. Eubanks comes set. There goes the runner. Throw down towards second. No, not going to throw it. So 3-2 ball game here. Top of the 5th, the North has scored a run. Mr. Burkholder, I want to thank you for joining me here, and it's been a pleasure. I know we could talk baseball till the cows come home, I guarantee you.
Yes, we could, and I certainly thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Congratulations on being a Hall of Famer, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Outstanding. So Billy and Billy, 2 outstanding interviews, 2 gentlemen who know each other, and a real nice connection, and now they are Valley League Hall of Famers. Here's a high fly ball to deep right field. This ball's twisting toward the corner, and a dive. It made the catch. Diving catch down in the right field corner. Fantastic job making the catch and rolling over in deep right field. That would have bounced around for probably a triple. Patrick Mccall. Unbelievable catch by Mccall to keep it at 3-2. And I know I ran long and got long-winded with the 2 Billies. I apologize for that, but you don't get a couple of guys that often to talk baseball about. So I want to give the Hall of Famers a wide breath there.
Right. Yep.
So 3-2, and both teams have really looked pretty good to me here, Kyle.
Yeah, it's been an even matchup, like you said, 3-2, as we get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning.
New pitcher in the ball game for the North, right-hander Trent Sidwell from the Winchester Royals, Illinois Springfield.
had some impressive arms, but I've also seen guys get deep into at-bats and do a very nice job. And I've really liked the level of play here. You got two managers trying to win the game. They're not just going to the bench for pinch hitters here in the second and third inning.
Yep, they're definitely playing to win and giving the fans here at the ballpark a very good game, Dave, as we get ready to keep it on rolling here tonight from Harrisonburg.
Chase Cheek was at the plate when Zach Little was thrown out, so he will get back to the plate. Back to the left side now. That's another thing I forgot about Cheek. Cheek is a switch hitter, I believe. So he'll go back to the left side, and Mccall, who just made the defensive play of the game, will be second. So 3-2 ball game, just 9 hits, but we've seen some exciting plays. Not just a bunch of bloop singles and things like that. Guys scalding it around the yard.
And Dave, did we mention who won the Derby before the game?
Let's see.
Andrew Burden did.
Yep, and Andrew Burden from Front Royal.
Yeah.
Won the home run derby, and it was a strange home run derby because
was.
it was hard to judge just whether the wind was helping or hurting. I think there was a time where it was actually helping to right for a little while, and then there was a time where it was definitely hurting the balls going to left.
Then Monday came up, and he was popping them up behind the plate, kind of a funky. He was getting some funky pitches, though.
Yeah, you got to choose carefully
who you get throwing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw one of the guys throwing something that looked like it had a little cut to it, which is tough.
Easy to hit.
And then the gentleman from Covington was throwing kind of a sidearm style, which you got to kind of lift that into the air. There's definitely a science to it. When you watch the major leaguers do it, it is you can see they obviously practice it. You're not going to be smoking 25 home runs like they'll do. So Cheek, Mccall, and Mundy are due. Flared out toward left center, twisting up the alley. Going to be playable, though. Oyama over, and he makes the squeeze. So 1 pitch and 1 out.
Yeah, good start to the inning for the North Division All-Stars, as that one's a fly ball to left center. And as you said, Percival's Kenny Oyama makes the catch for out number 1.
So here is Mccall. Mccall really hasn't shown any power per se in his time there with the Tom Sox, but other than that, he's just laced singles, doubles, triples all over the yard.
Yep.
In there for a strike on the outside corner.
Does have a hit on the game tonight. I can see your computer still doesn't want to load.
It sure does not.
All of our stats up tonight.
Too many users.
Yeah.
0-1 pitch hammered out to right center. This ball is going to get cut off by Oyama. McCall's going to go for 2, and the throw is offline. So the loping strides, definitely a guy that is not that fast home to first, but when you get the big legs going on the 6'6" body, you could really see him. What was he, 7 strides between the bags there?
Yeah, Dave, it didn't look like he was going to try to test it at first because Oyama did a good job of cutting it off, but then Oyama seemed like he was kind of surprised that he was going in. But McCall able to slide in. It felt like he slid so far away because he's such a tall guy, and he's in there at second with a 1-out double here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the South Division All-Stars.
Thunder, J.D. Mundy up there now. First pitch misses outside. You want to be careful with Mundy.
You got a base open, too.
Well, yeah, you do. He had a terrific at-bat when they seemed to be trying to stay away from him early in the at-bat. Fought his way through and eventually got a big double. Hit hard out toward left field, twisting away from the left fielder. 1 hop and off the wall. Mccall will score easy. Back-to-back doubles by the Thunder part of the South lineup. So what I'm happy about, Kyle, is you got these premier guys showing the right guys, hey, this is what my game looks like. What do you think?
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I did a good job hitting an opposite field there. And
good stuff.
Yeah.
Here's D'Alessandro now. Big-time RBI guy. 4-2. The North had cut it to a 1-run ball game, but the South coming right back here. 7 hits for the South now. Pitch to D'Alessandro, swung on and missed. Little sidearm flip breaking ball by Trevin Eubanks. Excuse me, Trent Sidwell. Trent Sidwell from Winchester. way outside. So Monday, we saw Monday run the 60, and you know, it's like, okay, one of the slower guys, but you see what his tools are.
Yeah.
A bunt single is not in his repertoire. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Nice job by Sidwell. Kind of slowed down the arm, big sweeping breaking ball. That's up in the batter's eye line. It's very hard to lay off of, but it ends up well out of the strike zone.
Yeah, very good pitch there by Sidwell. As the count is now 1-2. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. 4-2 South on top, runner on second.
Flare down toward the right field line. It'll get down for the base hit. Mundy will head on home. Here comes a throw, and it's offline. So Mundy scores, and that takes the lead back to a 3-run cushion, 5-2 for the South. So, boy, these guys are just cashing in on the RBI opportunities.
Yeah, they're hitting it all around the ballpark, too, Dave. That one was down the right field line. Mundy's was left center. I mean, they're doing a good job of getting it everywhere. This is what I was expecting from the South. They come in, a lot of runs scored in those South Division teams, as we were talking about earlier, Dave. The South is a very tight division this year, and they have a lot of talent. So I was definitely expecting a lot of runs being put up. So they are up to 5 now, 5-2.
Line drive, base hit by Embler to right center. So, boy, the South has risen again. No question about it. So good to see Austin get a little bingo.
Yeah, they're putting it all together now. You definitely want to make sure that try to get Sidwell through the inning here.
I think if we could come up with the correct arrangement where the Valley League All-Star Game winner at least gets to, you know, just go to A-ball, just go to Pulaski or the nearby A-ball team and just go ahead and play them. But no one would ever go for that because there's a lot of these guys who are at or near that level when you put this All-Star team together.
Right. Yep. You're right.
Here's a ground ball out towards shortstop to second for 1. Barehanded, throw to first in time. So a real nifty 6-4-3 double play turned by the North there. Was Briggs to Prosowski and then on to Burden. But the South did some damage there. And it's a 5-2 ball game. Yeah, I think that the individual Hall of Famers each have their story, but so many of these guys are they're excited, and I love to see the energy with them because a lot of them have been there, done that, all this type of stuff. But to just come back and be honored, I can imagine that's quite a big deal.
Now I do want to just kind of give a heads up to the people watching on Facebook that this is not like any ordinary game, meaning they're not going to alert us every time somebody has a new hitter and a new pitcher. So it's tough for us to be able to keep an eye out on everybody. So we're definitely doing our best here. Just trying to keep an eye on everybody. Sorry if your player was not mentioned, but that's kind of what we explained at the beginning of the game. These guys come up here pinch hitting. They get one pitch, and that's how it goes. This is the All-Star game.
Exactly. I mean, and a lot of times you if a guy's put in on defense only, corner position or something like that. Mr. Sample down there talking again. New pitcher in for the South. Left-hander, Jared Weatherby from Charlottesville. Tell you, between Weatherby and Cody Maw, boy, two very impressive lefties for the Tom Sox. They've made the Turks believers big time. The Turks had like 16 strikeouts against those guys in about 21 at-bats. It was a very gaudy number. See if the North can stage a little rally here. 5-2. South on top. 5 runs on 9 hits for the South. No miscues. 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error.
Again, I'm not understanding the complaints over here on the Facebook, but I don't know.
Samir Santos will get a swing here. Winchester Royals, Shorter University, strongly built right-handed swinger, and he was in the home run contest as well. Good place to hit up there at Bridgeforth. So Weatherby, the lefty, against Samir Santos, a right-hand swinger. Fastball just missed on the outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Cooling down nicely here at the ballpark, and the fans have suffered through a little bit of sunshine earlier, but it's really nice now. Next fastball also misses on the outside. Two-0 pitch from Weatherby. Low for a ball, so Santos has an opportunity to start things off for the North and get another rally going. Santos from the Winchester Royals. When Winchester joined the Valley League, they won 5 straight titles. It's like, hello, guys. Kick down the door. Fastball missed outside, so Santos draws a 4-pitch walk, and that's rare for Jared Weatherby. The Tom Sox pitchers, they get beat or win with strikes. No question about it. They're not the team that beats themselves in nearly all cases. So good walk there by Santos to start it off. Here comes Connor Wilson, impressive player for the Woodstock River Bandits. He's one of those flyers from Dayton University. Good athletic center fielder. Fastball is high for a ball to Wilson. Yeah, Connor had a couple of big games in here against the Turks, so win and a loss, but he packed up the stat sheet in there for a strike from Weatherby. 1 ball, 1 strike.
5-2, the score.
Weatherby staring down the runner, deals the 1-1. Popped up right side, and that's going to peel back out of play onto the flag court area. Austin Thompson from the Express on deck, Georgia Southern University. We're starting to see some guys get filtered into the game here.
Yeah, the North trying to get something going here, trailing by 3 runs, and Wilson batting.
Weatherby deals, hit hard but foul right side. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And with 2 strikes, this is where Weatherby and Cody Mall, the lefties for Charlottesville, this is when they've been devastating because they've got these big wipeout breaking pitches.
Yeah, those are tough to hit.
And they'll keep it in the zone. If you take it, they'll ring you up. And if you swing, it's hard to do much to keep your bat from being over top of it. So quality breaking stuff. There goes the runner. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball is up high, and an easy stolen base for Samir Santos. I think he'd lulled him to sleep. Weatherby was looking for a call there in the upper part of the zone, but I think we've had a true rectangle called here today. Pretty good zone.
Yeah, he was holding the glove there instead of throwing it down because he thought he had that strike 3, and it was a pretty close pitch, but just didn't get the call.
Both teams have hit well with runners in scoring position.
Yes, they have. That's good to see.
Definitely is. Pitch to Wilson, swung on foul back to the screen. Nice scrappy at bat for Connor.
Yeah, Connor, one of those other bright spots this season for the River Bandits from the Flyers of Dayton. Having a solid season as their starting center fielder up the road in Woodstock.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Samir Santos walked and stole second. 2-2 pitch, popped out toward right field, going to be playable. Santos will tag. Catch is made. Santos going to go. Here comes the throw, and he will make it. Kind of a clunky slide into third there, so hopefully Santos is all right. So Samir Santos, looked like he wasn't gonna run there, but he tried to get a little stealthy.
Yeah, very nice throw out there in right field as it almost beats Santos to the bag. It was right on, just not in time. So that moves the runner to third base now with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Here's Austin Thompson from Georgia Southern.
He's with your Strasburg Express.
He is.
Tell us a little bit about him.
Having a very solid season.
Fastball at the belt for strike 1.
One of the most solid defensive shortstops I've seen in this league in a very long time, to be honest right there.
Shortstop is a big position this year. There's a lot of great ones, defensively in particular. Strike 2 at the knees.
Kind of late call there, Dave.
A little bit of a late call. That's the most heat we've seen from Weatherby, too. I think that was his best fastball. No balls, 2 strikes. Santos at third here with 1 out. Weatherby kicks and deals. low and gets right by the catcher. Santos decides no. Too friendly of a carom. Bounced right back. And that would have been disastrous there for Santos, but so a good decision. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pretty important to just put the ball in play if you're Thompson.
Yeah, get a run in.
Middle infielders are deep for the South, so they're kind of conceding the run. A little 2-hop grounder would get it done. 1-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to first base, and heading to the bag unassisted is Mundy.
Yeah.
So they concede the runs.
I think they would have had a chance at the plate because Mundy was coming towards the ball, momentum forward, but he decided to take it himself, and Thompson kind of slid into first base there. But hey, he got the RBI ground out.
5-3 ball game. 2 outs and nobody on now. Aaron Polinski getting a swing now. Fastball right off the end of the glove. 1 ball, no strikes. Polinski from the Winchester Royals, Southeast Nebraska Community College. I think it was Caleb Polinski played for the Waynesboro a couple of years ago. He was also from Nebraska. I think that's too many coincidences to not be a relation. Next pitch is up high for a ball.
Another great thing about the Valley League, Dave, is you look at some of these schools, not big-name schools, but they can produce very good players. We saw last year with Mike Wylansky. He was supposed to be here again this year, but he was drafted.
Good reason to not be here,
yeah.
Right? 2-0 fastball catches the knees, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And he was from, Worcester College, which I think they play Shenandoah in the Division III.
And really, a Division III player hasn't gotten within a sniff of the MVP award, let alone win it.
Yeah.
2-1 fastball, foul back to the screen. Nice cut there by Polinski. Christian Garabedian is on deck. He's already 1 for 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. A run in here for the North in a very entertaining all-star game. Breaking ball, chopped down third base way. Little has got it, uncorks the throw. And they get him for out number 3. So both teams are really showing some scrappiness, manufacturing some runs. So definitely good to see. And one of the weird things about the All-Star game is I would normally go for out-of-town scores right now, but we don't have any. So I'll step out for a quick break. Back in a minute. Bottom of the 6th inning, coming at you 5-3. The South All-Stars are on top. You and Jack, I don't know. I haven't seen him since the game started. Bottom of the 6th inning here. Dave Norman and Kyle Gutshaw on the call. 2018 Valley League All-Star game here from Harrisonburg. New pitcher in the ball game. Yes, we're going to say that plenty. Anthony Zimmerman, hard-throwing right-hander from Fordham University, from the Purcellville Cannons. Going to take on the left-hand swinging Ryan Fitzgerald from the Covington Lumberjacks from Oakland University. We'll start to see some wholesale changes now, I'm sure. 5-3 ball game, South on top here. Fastball, a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes. Zimmerman rocks and deals. There's a fastball, just a little bit higher for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and Zimmerman's got that big prototypical size, Kyle. He's a good-looking, hard-throwing righty. Fastball just missed on the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Bottom 6, 5-3, South on top.
Fastball missed outside, so 3 balls, 1 strike, and both teams have done a great job of producing the runs when they get runners on. So
yeah, and right here, if you're the North, you don't want to walk anybody.
Here's a strike on the outside corner, about belt high. And I think some sell mode there. Definitely trying to sell the walk. Great looking pitch there by Zimmerman.
So a full count now.
Haven't really seen much of a breaking ball from Zimmerman yet. Maybe you'll see it here on 3-2. Fastball chopped foul right side, and it remains 3-2. The better hitters, which the All-Stars are, can really extend at bats. And these guys have spoiled a lot of nasty pitches. So that's when you see talent on talent. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fitzgerald trying to lead things off proper for the South here. Payoff pitch. Fouled off left side. Bounces back off the screen.
Good battle here, starting the bottom of the 6th inning.
Zach Ching from Charlottesville in the on-deck circle now. He's had a .300 season. He and Mccall made a lot of people unhappy the first week of the season by playing so well. 3-2 pitch swung on, just got a piece of it. So Fitzgerald, it looks like he's seen everything that Zimmerman has to offer, and the advantage swings to the hitter when there's nothing left in the bag of tricks.
Yeah, very good battle right here, Dave, between these two. Trying to get on to start the bottom of the 6th inning, but see if he goes with the curveball here. And he does.
There it is, up high for a ball. I think that, he hadn't thrown it.
Yeah.
So you're trying to throw it there when it has to be a strike. It makes it even tougher.
Yeah, just missed a little bit up high, and then, as you said, coming up to the plate now.
Zach Ching, very good contact guy, so the South has got some possibilities here.
North looking for a ground ball, maybe turn a double play on Ching here with nobody out.
Swung on and missed. No balls, 1 strike. Trey Jacobs from the Stanton Braves is on deck. Pitch to Ching is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Fitzgerald at first. Medium lead so far. Zimmerman comes set. Deals the fastball. Ching a little tardy, but he put that right on the outside corner. Beautifully placed.
Very nice pitch there by Anthony. Zimmerman trying to get it out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
1-2 pitch.
Slide step.
Pretty good one too. A little bit low with the offering. Guy Zimmerman's size, you really can't go into that traditional leg kick windup. That just gives the guy too much room. So, little slide piece. 2-2 pitch. Fouled right back off the catcher and back to the screen. So, 2-2. Zimmerman back behind the mound. And he'll ascend the mound back to the pitching plate. Runner at first, nobody out here. Bottom of the 6th. South trying to add to a 5-3 lead.
A lot of pitches having to be thrown by Zimmerman. Runner
goes
going.
The runner chopped down first base, where the only play will be first base. So little run and hit action.
Yeah.
That could have been trouble. You get that down the right field line. Samir Santos was left with only 1 play for out number 1. But in scoring position, is Fitzgerald. And here comes Trey Jacobs from the Braves. The Braves, about 7 or 8 games in, were hitting .312 as a team.
Yeah.
Just doing some crazy stuff. They have cooled off a bit, sitting around the 500 mark overall.
And then the one night in Strasburg came back from a 9-3 deficit and won 18-9. So that just shows, as the first pitch is over for a strike, 0-1, what they can do. As it was a 9-9 game heading to the ninth, they put up 9 runs and ended up winning at 18-9. So this Stanton team definitely cooled off a bit, but they have a lot of potential with some very good hitters on that team.
0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes. And Strasburg and crazy games has become synonymous.
Get your money's worth every night there at First Bank Park.
And there's, I would imagine it's tough to bring in pitchers because it's just hard to have anything resembling a decent earned run average in that ballpark.
A lot of home runs hit and a lot of runs given up.
Fastball one hops the plate, but for the Express, squeezed out a couple of championships with that business model.
Yeah.
So any way you like it, just got to know what your style is and just be very good at it. But the one thing that travels is pitching. The park can determine hitting, but pitching is going to have the big say. Swung on and missed on a breaking ball. Have to throw down to first to retire him. So retired on the strikeout. Runner goes over to third on the play. So with 2 outs, still be a good RBI opportunity. Like another pinch hitter for the South. Dalton Wingo from Waynesboro, University of Central Florida. Yeah, Waynesboro at one point, I think they had 5 rainouts in a row in like 7 and 9 days. Just a nutty season for Waynesboro. Fastball swung on and missed by Wingo.
I think there's still a good bit of games behind, too, compared to most of the teams around the league.
Yep.
But Waynesboro, one of those teams that are consistently good, and I think they were in the bottom of the division the other day, and they were like 10-12. And if you were 10-12 in the North, you would be in like third. It's just crazy this year.
0-1 fastball swung on and missed. What Zimmerman has just zeroed in on the outside corner, knee high. That's a good place to be zeroed in on. 0-2. Fitzgerald at third here. Swung on and missed, and that looked like 3 carbon copy fastballs right there. So Zimmerman got in a little bit of trouble, but uses the big fastball to bail himself out of it. Good-looking prospect there, Anthony Zimmerman. He's got the size that the scouts look like, and a good live fastball. Headed for the top of the 7th inning. South All-Stars on top, 5-3 here. Back in a minute with more of the 2018 All-Star game from Harrisonburg. Top of the 7th here at the old ball game. The Boys of Summer, the All-Stars, 2018 Valley League action. 5-3 South on top. New pitcher in the ball game from the Stanton Braves, Chad Cooperman from Bloomsburg University. Another of these undersized guys that you see just a few offerings and you realize, well, okay, he's real. That's why I was talking with Billy Sample, mentioning Billy Wagner, the Virginian, who threw so hard no one cared if he was 3 feet tall or 8 feet tall. It just didn't matter.
For sure.
Elite cheese. Christian Garabedian will lead it off for the North.
Sound like he said that one of the managers. We'll get to that here in a second.
Fastball in there for a strike from Cooperman to Garabedian.
Goose thrown at his head.
Oh yeah.
Talking about Goose Gossage, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah. He threw pretty hard too.
Yes. Very much so. Fastball missed outside. There's so many guys that throw 94 and above now.
Yeah, that's typical.
There used to just be a handful
that
threw like that, and Goose Gossage was one of them.
Had the mustache.
Oh yeah, little flare out toward left field, and a nice running catch. Great play and nice range by the South shortstop there, Zach Ching. Got a nice first step on it and flags it down. So Garabedian almost had his second hit of the ball game.
And that'll bring up Justin Hayes.
Speed. Yeah, Hayes had some nice work there. Strasburg.
Yeah, he hit a
Norfolk State
grand slam the other night on the walk-off. That was the one against Stanton, actually.
First pitch misses outside.
It was his first home run of the VBL season. I think he hit one all year in college ball, but he hit almost 400 in college ball.
Nice. Chopped right back to the mound. Cooperman with the quick hands gets it.
Look at that speed.
Yeah, he's got nice speed. And Justin Hayes and the Willie Mays Hayes comparisons from Major League. So 2 quick outs recorded by Cooperman and the South. And now we're going to get another look at Andrew Burden, Piedmont College. Front Royal Cardinals. I think it's going to be a very interesting playoffs. Again, I know the South is as tight as can be, so who knows who's going to win those series.
Yeah.
Slider from Cooperman cuts the plate in half, no balls and 1 strike. I really do like the format because if you've had kind of a struggling season, you get that nice clean slate to work with.
Yeah.
Another breaking ball missed outside.
Just got to fight into the playoffs, and in the South there's one less team, so it's a little bit easier for you to get in. The problem is when there's so many tough teams, it's going to be a struggle to get there.
Checks his swing, takes a pitch outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. I really think it's important to keep your team together, obviously, but keep your starters. You gotta. If you're an underdog, you gotta steal one. Slider induces a very weak check swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Andrew Burden. Got some thunder in his stick. 2-2. Line drive, base hit center field. So that's the thing about baseball. You can get fooled badly on one pitch and then figure out, okay, I think he's coming back fastball. That's what I'm sitting. Get yourself a base knock.
Yeah, very solid job there by Burden, who, as we stated a couple minutes ago, he actually won the home run derby before the game, and hopefully you're able to watch that here on Facebook Live. But a good job, as Dave said, he was completely full of the pitch before, but did a good job of staying on that one and hitting it up the middle for a 2-out single.
Here's Kobe Lopez now, Newmarket Rebels. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Cooperman mixing it up well, throwing plenty of strikes. Lopez is another of these entertaining athletic shortstops in the VBL this year. Florida International University product. 0-1. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Cooperman feeling the bender. 0-2. Top of the 7th here in Harrisonburg. 5-3 game. 0-2 pitch from Cooperman. Another breaking ball swung on and missed. No, got a piece of it. Just got a piece of it. Like right now, a fastball would look very fast, but Cooperman is really snapping off some nasty pitches. 0-2 pitch high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2 breaking ball, got a piece of it again. So Lopez going to school a little on this breaking ball, and I think Cooperman might need to get a fastball in the strike zone to finish him off here.
Yeah, just got a piece of a good job there, staying alive, and Chattel trying to put him away here in the 1-2 count with 2 outs.
economy lead by Burden at first. Fastball swung on and missed, maybe a little cutter there as well. So Lopez really not seeing Cooperman very well. And a nice relief inning for Chad Cooperman and the South. 7th inning stretch time here at the ballpark. You folks at home, you got everything that you need right there. How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
Been a very nice Valley League day here from the time we got started a little after 3, covering some of the stuff. This is telling the story of the Valley League past, present, and it's always a bright future when you have this much talent roll through here summer after summer.
Yeah, it really is, Dave. It's good to see all these very talented players in the Valley League this year, and hopefully most of them can stick around for the entire season. Of course, things always happen, but definitely want to see those guys stick with their teams and get to the end of the year and try to help their team win a championship, win the Lina Weaver Cup.
Yeah, you kind of have two things. It's great to win that regular season title and get yourself the pennant, but doing both has been very rare. Charlottesville did it last year. I think Strasburg did it a couple of years ago, but it had been all the way back to 1997 since someone had won them both. That really speaks to the parity in the league. New pitcher in the ball game for the North, Jared Schemper from the Newmarket Rebels and Wallace Community College. And I know for Turks fans, Wallace Community College rings familiar because that's where Craig Kimbrell was from.
Yes, it was. Wallace,
yeah. Craig came here just long enough to throw one bullpen session, and Coach Weiss just kind of shook his head and said, well, let's see, with the draft coming up, and we don't have a game, and the league used to start at a different time then. We don't have a game until the day after. He said, this kid is never going to pitch a single time for the Harrisonburg Turks. And he was right.
Yeah, I forgot that Kimbrell came through here. That's right.
Nothing fancy about him. 5'11", 185 pounds. But if you saw him uncork his best fastball, it was like, okay.
Yeah, went on to be drafted by the Braves. And then a couple of years ago, I can't remember if he was traded or if he was signed as a free agent, but went to the Red Sox. I think it was a trade.
Actually, he was with the Padres briefly, and then on to the Red Sox.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the year the Padres reloaded and then collapsed anyway.
Oh, yeah. Padres have had some tough luck.
Well, it's not for lack of changing out players. They've done that.
They've done
that
plenty of that.
A time or 10. Here's Patrick McCall leading things off. Schemper winds and deals. Breaking ball sweeps outside. Another at-bat, Kyle, where you get to see how McCall handles left-hand pitching.
Yeah, he's been very impressive tonight.
Yes, he has.
Very impressive.
On the bases with the stick.
Yeah.
The great catch in right. Line drive double into the corner here as we're speaking. How about this kid? And look at the way he runs. He's just an athletic 6'6" guy. So he is he's making his bid to be the MVP of this game, no question about it. I mean, the diving catch in right was unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
At least one run scores on that play. So here comes J.D. Mundy, and the South managers made some changes. I mean, Zeke Mitchum, Alex Kottheimer's made some changes, but I think that 2, 3, 4 in his lineup is just too tempting to take out.
Yeah.
These guys are
they're impressive.
They're fantastic. So here's Mundy now. McCall at second, nobody out. Schemper staring down McCall. Breaking ball, missed outside. Same challenge for Monday. How well do you stay in there against a lefty with a big hook? McCall answered the bell big time on that question.
Yeah, look at the second baseman where he's playing, Dave.
Oh, yeah, he's looking to get de-gloved out there. He knows he's got a dead pull guy up there. 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed, and that was a scoop it out of the ballpark swing there.
Yeah, big swing there by Mundy, coming in to the All-Star break with 12 home runs. J.D. Mundy from Covington and Virginia Tech.
I'm surprised his strikeout rate is surprisingly low considering. Fastball outside corner at the letters, a rare call you're going to get there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Umpire getting booed in the All-Star game.
Hey, tough night back there.
Yeah. 3-man umpiring crew here in the All-Star game and also in the playoffs.
It's good. Another set of eyes.
Yeah, that's what I always say.
1-2 pitch. Big curve. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. So a good battle back there by Schemper. started living on the outside corner, and he strikes out Mundy. Still just one out. And Eric Connor headed to the plate here from the Stanton Braves. Walsh University. It seems like with the Braves, year after year, they always have an offensive club. It's
yes,
really,
they do.
Really a question of what kind of arms they get in, but they always score some runs. There goes the runner. Fastball inside. Throw to third base is not in time and nearly whistled by Garabedian. Good play by Christian to keep that from going by him in the left field, but it's Patrick McCall's world. We're all just living in it. He's doing everything right.
He's doing everything. You're right about that. Couple of hits, nice diving play out there earlier. Couple of stolen bases.
Kind of reminds me like a Von Hayes type player, a little bit before your time. Breaking ball is high for a ball. 1 strike. He actually played for your Phillies for a little while, but tall, left-hand hitter, 5-tool player. 1 ball, 1 strike. Schemper winds and deals. Very high. Oh, goodness. Plenty of heat, though.
Yeah, plenty of scouts still here at the ballpark, and this seems like scouts. Does it seem like this to you? They're just getting younger and younger. It just seems like the youngest guys are doing the scouting job now.
I guess that's the trend. Fastball missed outside. Clint Robinson from the Turks just retired. Had played with several major league teams. He's now a scout for the Miami Marlins, who are rebuilding their scouting department. So he's got a real good chance to
move up in that.
Get some fresh data in there. 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Nice fastball by Schemper. Jared Schemper really showing the arm talent here.
Or you can come work for the Phillies where they have like 50 analytic people.
Well, they try and just have such a quantity of prospects. 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Jared Schemper says, no, sir. Strikes out some serious hitters there.
Yeah, nice pitch there.
Blows away Connor, blows away Mundy with breaking balls. He really shifted gears into the fastball mode there. So here's Kirk Jones. Eric Jones. Fastball swung on and missed. Maybe chased one a little up in the zone there. Jones from Gardner-Webb University, the Bulldogs.
Seems like Gardner-Webb sends pretty good players to the league every once in a while.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we had Emilio Pagan here from Gardner-Webb a few years ago. He's in the Oakland A's bullpen right now. Fastball swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes.
So, Schemper trying to get out of it here. Hold this at a 5-3 game.
McCall's leadoff double and stolen base haven't been enough to push one across. 0-2 fastball, very high. Yeah, lefty with a breaking ball as good as Schemper's, and then that upper end velocity. I think he's been 92.
Yeah,
his best fastball.
Yeah, he's got a good fastball up and in, and when you throw all those breaking balls down low, that's when you throw that high fastball and blow it by him.
1-2 fastball inside corner. So Jared Schemper went into anger mode there and just blew 3 hitters away. So Patrick McCall tried to be a one-man rally, and Schemper said, no, sir. It's not going to happen here.
Yeah, that's going to hold it at a 5-3 game as we head to the 8th inning of play.
So right now, you'd have to say McCall might be your MVP, but this one still got the chance to
could go the other way still.
Fantastic finish because lineups put together this talented, you never know what's going to happen.
You really don't. It's been a good game so far. 5 runs on 10 hits and no errors for the South. 3 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the North. Pitching has been pretty good overall.
Now, when you began your broadcasting with the Woodstock River Bandits, and the Bandits now have a World Series champion in Chris Stavensky and the Houston Astros bullpen. And now you've had a couple of years with the Strasburg Express as the play-by-play man. Which player up there in Strasburg have you really been the most impressed with? Just raw talent guy.
Well, there's been a couple of guys. I did an interview earlier before the game. There's actually one guy to me that's been really impressive, and that is a guy who didn't even make the All-Star team, and that is Colton Schultz. Schultz, outfielder from the University of Alabama, Birmingham. He's hitting up in the 320s. 5 or 6 home runs. Didn't make the All-Star team. He's really got it going as of late. Had a one game the other night. I think he went 5 for 6 with a couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. Very, very good fielder when he does play defense. He normally is the DH, but when he does play the field, he's very good. But there's been a couple other ones like Justin Hayes, who hit that walk-off grand slam the other night. He's the most versatile, in my opinion, because he can hit the ball, he can hit for an average, he's a great fielder, he can make diving catches in center, and he can steal bases like crazy. So Hayes overall probably the most versatile. But I've been very impressed with Colton Schultz's hitting ability. He's been doing a good job of working some counts. But overall, Strasburg hitting-wise has not been an issue. It's just been the pitching, as we talked about earlier. A team like Woodstock also not having very good pitching this year. So the Express has some good hitters. Austin Thompson, who is in here. Anthony Pecora, another good one. So overall, their starting 9 have been pretty solid. Just on the pitching side of things has been a struggle for the Express.
Yeah, things get amplified in that small ballpark.
It's like being a pitcher for the Rockies and having to pitch at Coors Field.
Right. Derek Tremblay on the mound now from the Covington Lumberjacks, Virginia Military Institute. Little side armor, and this one is fouled off the foot. Trickles foul. Got a Riley Wash from the Newmarket Generals. Newmarket Rebels is in there now. St. John's River Community College. People see these small schools, and then you forget, well, that's right down there in the heart of Florida.
Yep.
Right surrounded by all those great schools. Guys will, blow up at one of these small schools, and suddenly they're at Florida, or Florida State, or Miami, or Central Florida. So there's some great 2-year schools in Florida playing baseball where guys are trying to make that leap to the D1 schools. Pitch to Wash. Chopper out towards shortstop. Not much time left. Throw to first is in time. Little Baltimore chop action. You got to wait on it here. Zach Ching on the play from the Charlottesville Tom Sox.
Yeah, that was a nice play by Ching. He didn't rush it. He stayed back on it and waited for the hop. Got up on it, made a strong throw to first to make the first out here in the top of the 8th inning with the North Division, or the North team batting, trailing 5-3. So that's a good start for the South here in the 8th.
Pitch to Santos, grounded down toward third. Little is up with it. Throw to first is in time.
So 2 quick outs. Nice play over there at third.
Actually, I think that's 16, not 15 at third
16.
base now.
Trey Jacobs.
Yeah, Trey Jacobs.
This is what we're talking about. It's hard to keep up with these guys.
Yeah,
they don't notify us.
16 for 15. Right?
Yeah, they don't. It's not like a normal game where they're going to actually turn around and notify us. And obviously it's the All-Star game, so they're trying to get everybody in. So Jacobs over there at third.
First pitch misses outside. Connor Wilson getting his second swing.
Wilson had a couple of doubles the other night against Strasburg.
There's a strike at the knees. Boy, Tremblay really went down low on that one. That was submarine. VMI has had some very good baseball through the years, and a player that came through VMI to the Valley League, another chopper out towards shortstop. Not much time left there, and he is safe. So not much to do.
No.
Baltimore chop here at the ballpark. We see those kinds of singles with the Turks all the time. But people who remember Corey Spangenberg.
Oh, yeah. Padres.
Came through VMI. He was the 10th overall pick, and he was a Valley League MVP. He hit just a whisker over 400. I think that was 2011 for the Winchester Royals. First pitch misses. Austin Thompson from Strasburg getting a swing now. Georgia Southern, as you said.
Maybe during the half inning, do you want to go over the collegiate roster for the showcase? Have we gone over that yet tonight?
No, that'd be a good one to do. I know I'm going to do it during the week with the Turks.
Okay.
But, good time to talk about that.
Yeah.
Slightly different. Huge lead at first base. Chopper out toward Ching, and he'll go to second.
Busy inning.
Ching involved in all of them, so final out recorded. Good work there out of the bullpen for the South by Derek Tremblay. So headed for the bottom of the 8th. The South will try and add to their lead here, but the rosters are a little different here for the showcase event, and there'll be 2 games played down there. The Valley League went down there and went 2-0 last year against some of the other collegiate leagues, so kind of looking to stay undefeated if they can, but You give us an idea on the roster, especially the differences, the guys that you don't see who are on the roster.
It actually seems like most of the guys that are here are not on this roster. Did you notice that? I don't know. Like you said, they're getting a little bit of the younger guys in here, maybe getting some of the older guys on here, trying to get them.
And I think there's a factor where a lot of teams don't want to lose some of their top players for 2 days.
Right.
I think that's going on
completely understandable.
Because the Valley League will continue to play as the showcase games are going on in North Carolina.
So starting through the roster real quick, pitcher from Newmarket, Jacinto Arenado, Kyle Arjona, starting pitcher tonight for the South. He's from Harrisonburg. He's a pitcher. Graham Ashcraft, pitcher from Waynesboro. Jeremy Cook, also a pitcher from Stanton. Devin Dunn, pitcher from Strasburg. Trevin Eubanks, pitcher from Newmarket. Hunter McMullen, pitcher from Charlottesville. Kirby McMullen, pitcher from Charlottesville. Give me a pronunciation on this one here.
Rafe Schindler.
Schindler, okay. Schindler from Harrisonburg. Sylvester Toe from Strasburg. Fred Villarreal from Waynesboro. Anthony Zimmerman, pitcher from Percyville. Now into the catchers. Catcher Alex Brait from Waynesboro. Catcher William Semonite from Stanton. Catcher Riley Wash from Newmarket. Patrick McCall, Charlottesville, first base. He'll be there. And also J.D. Mundy. So Covington's going to lose Mundy for a couple of days. Alston Embler, Harrisonburg, second baseman. Only one second baseman on there. Shortstop Zach Ching, from Charlottesville. And Jackson Webb, shortstop from Waynesboro. Trey Jacobs, third baseman from Stanton. Then to the outfielders, Chase Cheek from Waynesboro, Andrew Eister from Newmarket, and Aaron Polinski from Winchester. Utility man Zach Little from Harrisonburg, and the DH Araj Anu from Newmarket. And Bob Weiss will be leading the charge for the 2018 VBL Southern Collegiate Showcase roster.
And that team is just stacked.
It really is.
Think about those individual guys. That's completely stacked. And that's what it has to be to go down there and compete. But, I mean, prospect-wise, if you don't love that team, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to find these guys in the VBL who are not solid baseball players. They're all very solid, and VBL should have a very good chance down in that showcase as we start at the bottom of the 8th.
Alex Brait leading off, Waynesboro catcher, takes a strike. He's from Florida Gulf Coast University. Dalton Oates doing the pitching now. Little flare ground ball out to second base. Great range, gobbled up. Throw to first is in time. Kobe Lopez at second base for the North, showing the great range there. So 1 up, 1 down. The North needs to keep it right here.
Yes, they
and
do.
have a chance to get a 2-run rally in the 9th.
Over on Facebook, we had a viewer, we still do, watching from Brazil.
Nice. International broadcast here. Ryan Fitzgerald getting his second swing. Little flare out toward third base, and called for and dropped. Wow, by Dalton Oates. Is this a story that begins and it started with a dropped pop-up?
Let's hope not for the North. That was a tough play because the third baseman was right there, and then pitcher called it and just couldn't hold on to it. It was a heck of a tough play because his back was towards us.
Right, Garabedian's got to be the guy making that play. But
you don't want your pitcher doing that.
And you don't want a collision.
Right.
Of all things.
With 2 your own men, too.
Right.
Now looking for a double play here.
Here's Ching. Takes a fastball high. Easy speed once again from Dalton Oates. Not a lot of effort and a nice upper 90s. It's going to be upper 80s or low 90s fastball. Line drive, base hit, center field.
That might be the start, Dave.
Well, maybe that's what the South is trying to put this thing away. 1 out. The North did a heck of a job last inning to keep the South off the board after McCall doubled and stole third. But 3 straight strikeouts ended that threat. So here comes Trey Jacobs now. Lefty-lefty matchup again. Good speed on the bases for the South. We've seen a lot of left-on-left here tonight.
Yes, we have. A lot of lefties on the mound tonight for both sides. Long hold.
Swung on and missed. And when Jacobs really flew open the saloon door with that swing.
Yes, he did.
Opened it up. Oates has got some stuff, as you'd expect, but impressive set of lefties tonight. Not necessarily big guys either, little guys with some stuff. 0-1 pitch,
Whoa.
swung on and
man.
missed. Huge cut by Jacobs. No balls and 2 strikes. So important to be able to rein your swing in a little bit. I think the most important thing for the South here is to get these runners moved over.
Yeah, I was going to say at least get them over, then try to get them in. But a 0-2 count now. Jacobs trying to stay on it after a couple of ugly swings in this at-bat.
Oates deals ground ball to first base. Throw to second is not in time. The return throw to first is off target, so Fitzgerald will score on the play, and a runner will be at first base. I'll tell you, Kyle, I don't know that the shortstop stayed on the bag there at second, so they got a gracious call there.
Yeah, we can't call New York, so it's not like we have any instant replay here yet. And I was almost kind of surprised they even tried to get that out at second base there.
Yeah, that was a tough lead runner to try and get. Santos, he's really took a chance there. Most people would take their shore out, and then you're down to just a runner at third and 2 outs.
Well, they don't need to throw. They don't have to walk them intentionally. They don't have to actually throw the pitches.
Why would they? With a runner at first, I don't understand what's going on there with that one. Dalton Wingo is the hitter now. That was strange.
Yeah.
Fastball right down Broadway for strike 1 to Wingo. So Dalton versus Dalton here. Oates and Wingo.
So the drop pop fly does start a little bit of a rally here.
Fastball foul back to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes. The one common denominator with nearly all the pitches we've seen is there's not a nibbler in the bunch. Each of this group, they've got the kind of stuff to go after.
They're going right at them. That's good to see. Aggressive baseball.
But, we've got 9 runs, so the hitters have reacted. Change-up swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher and an easy trot down to second base by Trey Jacobs.
That should be out number 3.
Oh, okay. Swung on and missed there. Okay.
Yeah. I think they had 1 on the board, but should have been.
And I trusted the scoreboard. Why would I do such a crazy thing? But
that's all right.
6-3 ball game. The South is on top. A lot of coverage here of the Valley League All-Star game today. The 60-yard dash, the home run hitting contest. Jack Fitzpatrick, my partner for the Harrisonburg Turks, doing a great job along with Zach Hamilton of the Charlottesville Tom Sox, and glad to have the involvement of so many of the Valley League teams. Teresa Weiss and the Harrisonburg Turks crew always do a fine job for the All-Star game. Number one, to just be in the right place and have everything that people need.
Right.
But it's not a Harrisonburg Turks event. It's a Valley League event. That's why we've really bent over backwards to make sure we got at least a voice and a face from every organization to get their chance to say hello. Now, I'm going to be biased here, Kyle, so I apologize in advance.
Right.
Rafe Schindler is heading to the mound for the Turks, and as far as young prospects in this league, he's very young.
All right. Well,
and I think that he's got 2 or 3 years of eligibility left. He's really something. But I think Charlottesville's got about 3 or 4 guys that fall into that same category. I think you need that nice mix of veteran players and also some of these unknown young players. But Schindler's from New Orleans, and we have former Turk Brett Stewart as a coach down there. He's been a big connection to send us players. So Kyle Arjona is here from New Orleans, and now we've got Oren Villon, who's got that nice Bayou pronunciation to his name there. So, these connections, whether it's in Strasburg or whatever it is, those are important to begin to build another successful roster.
Yes, it is. It starts right there as we head to the top of the 9th inning. 6-3, South Division on top. The North's going to have to get something going here, and got a couple of solid contact hitters coming up. A little bit of power due up later in the inning. So
2 bloops and a blast.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly right. Maybe they can get Oyama up there again. I wasn't on here with you when he got that bunt single, but wow, that was impressive by Kenny. Yeah, that
perfectly into the triangle.
And he beat it by a mile. It's not even. I don't even think there was a throw. If there was, it was not close.
That
at all.
was beautiful. And that's absolutely his game right there.
I love it.
Yeah, Aaron Polinski going to lead it off here from the Winchester Royals. So Polinski against hard-throwing Rafe Schindler. On deck for the North is Kobe Lopez. So you got some speed, contact here, as you mentioned. But I think it's tough to string together 5 singles here. It's going to take a little clap of thunder here at some point. Schindler with the customary crouch behind the plate, turn, and step into the office. That's his routine there. Schindler rocks and deals. Missed high and tight.
Control. Maybe one of the only ways the North can get back in it right now because they got a lot of work to do.
Chopper. This could be a base knock.
That's tough.
Up in the air all day. Throw to first is not in time. So
well, that's a start.
Baltimore chopped by Aaron Polinski, and he reaches with an infield hit. You know, you can see coaches hit infield ground balls all the time. Mm-hmm. You cannot replicate that.
You really can't. It just how many have we seen of those in the last inning or two? That's been
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
Yep.
I mean, just little choppers.
See, and the hitter can't force that to happen at the plate. Nobody's that good. Maybe Tony Gwynn was.
Yeah, and the infielders, they have no choice. I mean, they're waiting back. It's not like they're making errors. They just don't have any time to get to it.
Pitch to Lopez, high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Ray Schindler on to close the ball game out for the South. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball out towards shortstop. Could be 2 to second for 1. On to first. A double play. Just what the doctor ordered. 6-4-3. And Zach Ching has been very busy at shortstop. So that was Ching over to number 11 Eric Jones. And then on to J.D. Monday. 6-4-3 double play. You go from being in trouble to being nearly out of this thing.
Ching right there. Double play. 6-4-3. 2 outs. Top of the 9th. 6-3 South and the North down to their last out here in the ball game.
Riley Wash, the hitter for the North. Slider swung on and missed, and you're not going to miss by much if you're Schindler, but I think Wash missed that by 7 feet.
Was that in the other box?
It was well into the left-hand batter's box. That's a guy made his mind up to swing when he left the dugout.
But hey, it's a good pitch, I guess. It's called a strike.
And it's 1 strike.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Look on the board. Look what the count says.
Right.
It says 1-0.
0-1 pitch. Breaking ball. That's a beauty. So now it's 1-1. Good news for Wash is he's still standing there. Got a chance to do something.
Yeah, it should be 0-2 though, Dave.
Yeah, it is 0-2. Slider swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher. Throw to first is in time. Really nice recovery, and that will close things out. But I think they're
going to play the bottom of the 9th, I'm guessing.
No, they've done that from time to time, so could be 6-3. They might play the bottom of the 9th, and they will. This is all about at-bats and innings and all that good stuff. So 6-3, and that gives you a chance to get guys that you didn't get in. 6-3 is the official final score. 6 runs on 11 hits for the South, and ended up with some pretty doggone nice defense there overall.
Yep, nice play there to end the top of the 9th inning.
Alex Brate with a nice play from the Waynesboro Generals to recover and throw him out, and you at least get an opportunity to get some of these guys in the ball game. Rob Griswold heads to the mound from the Front Royal Cardinals, Long Island University. And the Front Royal, they're starting to really creep up the list statistics-wise, in addition to the solid 1-loss record that they've got in the North. And they're another one with the small ballpark, Bing Crosby Stadium there in Front Royal. Good-looking ballpark. I like a lot of the features of the Bing.
Yeah, it's a nice ballpark for sure.
Well, Murderers Row, Mccall and Mundy are coming up here, so these guys have gotten to play the whole game in an all-star game, and I don't think the scouts have been disappointed a bit. I mean, you know you're going to get a strikeout from Mundy here and there, but he's also shown the thunder, and Mccall has done everything right. So I would say, since this bottom half inning is not official, and it's just to give some guys some innings and at bats.
Yep.
I think we have to make our MVP decision based on what we know right now.
Yeah.
For me, it's definitely Mccall.
Yeah. for sure.
Did something defensively, offensively, ran the bases well.
Yep, Patrick Mccall. Bats left, throws right, 6'6", 215 from California and Harvard University.
Smart.
Charlottesville. Yeah, he's smart.
Yep, and
smart base runner too.
What year is he? He's going to be.
Let's see. It's listed as a senior on here.
Okay, so he'll be a senior at Harvard. So he's had those extra years to mature, not super young. So somebody's going to get themselves. But we're assuming he wants to play baseball.
I guess so.
You got Harvard
showing it tonight.
You got Harvard on the resume.
Yeah.
You probably write your ticket, right?
Yeah.
So here he comes to lead things off.
Yeah, we can make the decision to have him in the MVP before we even see him bat here, just due to the fact the game's already over, and he's already been such a big part of this win tonight for the South Division All-Star team. Again, final score 6-3, but we're still going here, playing the bottom of the ninth inning, just to get the North a couple more innings, and close pitch there.
2 balls, no strikes from Griswold to Mccall. Hit high out towards center field, going to be playable though, and chased down by your guy Justin Hayes in center field. But you can see McCall's got just a lot more power potential. He hasn't really taken the lid off of any of these stadiums yet, but you can tell by the way he lashes it around.
Yeah, that was a well-struck line drive to center. Justin Hayes from the Express doing a good job getting under it to make the catch, and that'll bring up Mundy looking to make another big hit here in the game, even though it's technically over.
Fastball on the outside corner. Mundy hits one out right here. The scouts won't care whether it counted or not. That's for sure. Griswold set. Here's the 0-1. Missed outside. Mundy struck out on a big sweeping breaking ball his last time up, and certainly no one faulted him taking it.
No.
Swung on and missed.
We were talking before the game, Dave, and I told you I thought Mundy would have a good chance to win the Derby, but like we were talking about, he was getting some cutters on his balls as he strikes out.
Slider swung on and missed there. Good pitch by Griswold. That was really the power of getting ahead in the count right there. You can get guys to swing at pitches off the plate when you get strike one on them. So this could be the final hitter of the night. Eric Connor from the Braves getting another swing here. Griswold throws the breaking ball, comes in a little bit low. Chopped third base side, and it's going to get foul. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs here. Eric Connor back to the batter's box. Getting these last couple of hitters in here. Breaking ball, a little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike. I think we've had the most submarine sidearmers make the All-Star team this year. Three or 4 of them. Hit high and deep to left field. This ball's really tagged. It's going to stay, and it's going to get out of here. Wow, he tagged that. Line shot home run by Eric Connor. He went down, scooped out that sidearm offering, and deposits it over the fence. So made a little impression there.
Yeah.
Well, I know someone who's happy that they continued on.
Yeah,
played, right?
Eric.
What a crush of a swing that was.
Nice swing.
It looked like it had some top and was going to stay in the park, but he hit it too darn hard to do that. So nice. That's one thing with you in the tiny ballpark and me in the big one, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm envious of the 50 home run calls you get every summer.
Yeah.
I get 5. Fastball in there for a strike.
Yeah,
you guys don't bother playing small ball up there.
I didn't get many in Woodstock either, but when I went to Strasburg, that's when the home run call started to begin, as that's popped up, and that's going to come over near us.
No balls and 2 strikes, so Eric Connor made it worth the wait. I like seeing someone take the lid off this place.
Yeah.
No balls, 2 strikes. Griswold deals. Popped foul right side this time.
Again, big thanks to everybody in the Valley League. We had, members from every team, representatives helping out around the ballpark tonight. Also, like you said, Teresa Weiss doing a good job. Part of the Harrisonburg Turks here hosting the All-Star game again here this year, as that's fouled off, and it's just good to come into the ballpark and see members from Strasburg and Stanton and Covington.
We're never all together at the same time, so this is it.
This is the one time of the year, and it's just great to see it as the North trying to end it here, even though they're
popped out toward left field. Called for and caught, and that'll be the final out of the festivities here tonight. So 6-3 is the final. A nice solo home run to finish it up for entertainment value. But both teams, you can see a lot of talent on both clubs. They probably played 10 times and go 5-5 this week. But
solid game.
But it definitely makes that showcase team look when you merge these two clubs plus a couple of near miss guys.
For sure.
So definitely going to be interesting. That'll be next Saturday. Next Monday and Tuesday, the 16th and 17th, the showcase games. I know for the Turks, we're only going to miss one game because we're actually off on the 16th. So a lot of teams will miss their players for 2 games. The Turks will just be 1. But I would say there's no chance it's not Mccall for the MVP. So those will be awarded here in short order. Yeah, I can see Jimmy McCumber over there, and even John Leonard over there on the right side. Going to likely give the awards. A lot of these players know so much about each other. It's hard to be in an opposite dugout and not have somebody over there know a little something about your game.
Yeah.
So you're not a complete mystery. Like the North and South MVPs are going to have an MVP for each team named North and South. So I forgot about that. So North, who do you think it would be for the North?
For the North,
I thought Garabedian played pretty well for the North. Came in a reserve role, but
yeah, he did pretty good. Zimmerman, he did pretty good. I know he pitched.
Zimmerman looked well, exactly. Yeah, I think that the real curveball to the whole thing was that the stats went down. Tonight. We weren't able to track it the way we would do.
Yeah.
We're going to award get our awards here, North and South MVP awards, and we'll wrap after that as soon as we get our awards done. Commissioner Bruce Alger is down there along with Jay Neal. Got some nice hardware for these gentlemen to take a look at. See Zach Hamilton down there from our team, going to get those things on videotape, and a lot of that stuff will be able to be disseminated to the teams to use on their social media and for people to keep for years to come, things like that. A lot of times they forget to tell the PA announcer, Kurt Dudley, who the awards are going to.
Yeah, he's kind of lost sometimes.
Yeah, Bruce Alger, the league commissioner, had a nice interview with Bruce earlier, and that's another one that'll be available later. Jay Neal is the vice president from the Strasburg Express. South gets the team championship plaque. I think Jay was headed north.
Jay's going the wrong way. He's got to forget about Strasburg for a second. Just
That's right. So, nice win for Alex Kothheimer from the Covington Lumberjacks. And you've got to get your commissioner photo. You gotta have that.
Yeah.
I didn't see Haymarket Joe this year.
No, he actually
he's
put
on vacation,
something on.
didn't he?
Yeah, he put something on Facebook, said he couldn't make it this year. But
yeah, Haymarket Joe's the official photographer of the Valley League, and this is rare to not see Haymarket Joe clicking away on all the great shots. But he's done it a gazillion times,
He has,
so
yeah.
probably didn't fit his calendar. Connor Wilson won the 60-yard dash from Woodstock. So speed travels everywhere. When you're a Dayton Flyer, you can't be slow.
Yeah, you're
right?
flying, man.
Can't be slow. So Connor Wilson gets something for Woodstock here in the season. And we're going to have our home run champion awarded here in just a minute as well. Front Royal Cardinals. Front Royal is having a very solid year, and Burden getting an early prize for them, Piedmont College product. Had a nice interview with him after the contest. Sweet swing. And he was one of the few guys that was managing to backspin the ball, which will fight through the wind a little better, keep it in the air a little bit longer. Yep, Christian Garabedian is the North MVP. I figured it'd be him. He nearly had 2 hits, but he was just 1 for 2, drove in a couple. So Garabedian came in as a substitute, ends up the North MVP. So congratulations to Christian from the Purcellville Cannons and St. Thomas University. J.D. Mundy wins the South MVP. I guess a couple of RBIs put him over the top there.
Wow.
I'm surprised by that.
I'm surprised.
I just think McCall did something in every facet of the game.
Wow.
But we can have a gentleman's disagreement on that one anyway. So
don't want to discredit Mundy. He's probably one of the best hitters on this team.
Oh, they were the guys.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think, I don't know.
He didn't run the bases like a banshee or make a diving catch.
Mundy's definitely one of the most impressive players in this entire game, though. I don't want to discredit him or anything.
Oh, yeah.
But kind of surprised.
Well, congratulations to them. I see Jack and Zach are down there getting some more content with the MVPs, stuff that can all be put up on Facebook and streamed later. So we're going to sign off for the 2018 Valley League All-Star Game. Kyle, it's been a fun one.
Yes, it has. It's been a great game tonight. It was a good one to come join you with. Our one game for the season here at the All-Star break. Before I head away for a little bit, and my buddy Craig Orndorff going to fill in for me here in Strasburg for Wednesday night. Craig always trying to fill in when he can. Voice of the Woodstock River Bandits and Valley Sports Radio, and hopefully these guys keep fighting. Everybody, especially in the South Division, that dog fight it's going to be in the second half of the year. So it should be fun as Strasburg and Newmarket fighting for that 4th place in the North. But overall, it's been fun so far. As another All-Star game in the books.
Absolutely. The boys getting their winning team picture down there. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank Graham Knight, Isomer Media, making it possible here on Facebook Live all day long, helping us out, getting all this great content and video. That is the future of the Valley League, is streaming things and just telling each team's individual story game after game. So have a good night, everybody. I'm Dave Norman for Kyle Gutshaw. It's been a pleasure. An entertaining 2018 All-Star Game is in the books.